What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 4 Hectoliters Chapter 86 The name of Uchiha Qixing. At this time, Terumi Mei was stunned. I haven't come back to my senses for a long time. The moment Shojiro woke her up, Terumi Mei's pretty face was filled with blush. A few seconds later, I heard Terumi Mei's roar, "A-hole. If you kiss me and run away, you are still not a man." But Qixing could no longer hear these words. At this time, Qixing was standing on a large lake and began to think about his next training direction. I saw his hands forming seals, and dozens of clones appeared instantly, flying towards various small countries, or places with hidden powerful people. Among them, the 4 clones with the largest amount of chakra flew towards the 4 major countries. However, the direction of the main body of 7 stars is opposite to that of the 5 major countries. At this time, the 7 stars flying rapidly in the sky murmured. In less than a year, I want to see how many secrets there are in this huge ninja world. After saying that, his body accelerated again. At the same time, Cloud Shinobi Village, a strong man who looks exactly like Uchiha Itachi appears and challenges Hokage in front of the whole village. Hokage's fiery temper couldn't bear it when he heard this. Without saying a word, he rushed forward and opened his stance. After a fierce physical battle between the two sides, Hokage was finally defeated by the mysterious man. After the man left his name, he disappeared into smoke. Everyone only heard one name in the void, Uchiha Qixing. And when the mysterious man's figure turned into smoke and disappeared, all the people in Cloud Shinobi Village reacted. This is just a chakra clone. After hearing this news, the Kingdom of Thunder was already boiling. And such a scene also appeared in the Sand Ninja Village. The clones of the 7 stars fought against Gaara. Shukaku even appeared in his complete body, but was still defeated by the clone of the 7 stars. Fortunately, the Sand Shadow Gaara is not alive. But Shukaku finally mustered up the courage to face the powerful clone, but was ruthlessly defeated. This time Shukaku was really beaten to the point of being autistic. As for the Earth Kingdom, Tsuchikage Onoki's side seemed to be well prepared. He had already gathered his subordinates to attack the 7 stars. This old guy had no sense of martial ethics at all. As for the clone of 7 stars, when the main body is not around, there is no way to transform into a super sailor and open the 8 gate. It can only use chakra and taijutsu. In the end, Onoki, the old hidden man, combined the power of the 4 elite Jonin to finally eliminate the clones of the 7 stars. But when they knew that this was just a clone, the pleasure of capturing the 7 stars disappeared instantly. And Onoki spoke for the first time. Impossible, just a clone has strength beyond cage level. Who is this guy? Quickly, send someone to search, that guy must be nearby. As for the Fire Country, Konoha Village Hokage, the 7-star clones are not so lucky. I originally came here to discuss with Tsunade, but I didn't expect to be surrounded by people as soon as I entered Hokage's office. This was also what Qixing expected. It doesn't matter, Qixing also likes the breakout game. But who would have thought that Tsunade would actually set up a ceiling barrier in his office? Damn. Where is martial virtue? Where is the will of fire? Can you show some face, Nima? What's going on? Something's wrong? In the end, this 7-star clone was hit by Tsunade's Baihao technique during the struggle. The bang turned into white smoke and dissipated. And obviously, Tsunade was well prepared. The moment other ninja villages were attacked, Katsuyu Sage probably told Tsunade the news. Although Qixing's clone has the strength of late cage level, there are too many geniuses in Konoha. A cage-level strongman really couldn't make any waves in Konoha at this time. Advertisement time passed slowly through Qixing's various tricks. The clones of the 7 stars have traveled to all the small countries around the 5 major countries, and have also challenged many hidden masters in the small countries. However, the real body is moving forward non-stop and understands what Madara said before, the ninja world is really big. The fact that there are absolutely no boundaries. 1 month later, at this time Qixing was walking in the desolate mountains. I couldn't help but be curious. I had been traveling at full speed for a month, but I still didn't see any signs of national or human activities. But since the ninja world is so vast, why do ninjas have to build 5 major countries and some small countries in such nooks and crannies? They still have to fight for territory in such places, and can't they expand on their own? Just as Qixing continued to move forward, this side of the ninja world. A guy named Uchiha Qixing quickly became famous in the ninja world because he challenged almost all cage-level experts without ever losing. And as young as he is, his strength has already reached this level of strength. It is more beloved than Shiro Monkey. At this time, the topic of 7 stars was also being discussed in the Akatsuki organization. I saw 7 phantoms in place, and everyone raised their questions one after another. Itachi, that guy is really your brother. Itachi said nothing. Just nodded. And everyone once again wondered, what exactly does he want to do? What is the purpose of doing this? At this time, Itachi shook his head. At this time, Pain said, I heard that guy has a close relationship with Shiro Monkey, but in recent years, Shiro Monkey has disappeared, but a more talented young man has emerged. Itachi, are you sure you can bring him into the organization? Itachi was startled when he heard this, because Itachi knew Qixing's identity at all. Then he said, it's basically impossible. He has his own power and backing. As long as he doesn't bother us, there's no need to pay attention to him. Nagato just frowned upon hearing this. Several people discussed it in the cave for half an hour. When Itachi came out, Kisame stepped forward. Mr. Itachi, if that person is really your brother, I think it would be better for you to get in touch with him. Although that guy is strong, he can't handle a large number of people. If you don't succeed, the leader will definitely send more people, and it will be difficult to deal with it then. Hearing Kisame's words, Itachi turned his head and looked at Kisame with a strange look. This made Kisame confused. Mr. Itachi, did I say something wrong? Itachi glanced at Kisame sympathetically and then left the base. At the same time, on the Seven Stars' main body, after flying for more than a month, they were already feeling a little irritable. Just when Qixing wanted to change direction, a steel city actually appeared in front of us. The city looked extremely grand and full of technology. The distance was tens of thousands of meters, but the aura of the city actually rushed towards the Seven Stars. Seeing this scene, Qixing knew that the purpose of this trip was not in vain. Then Qixing put on the mask, and his whole face changed instantly. In just a flash, he arrived at a hidden location in the city. Saying that Zhu Ling sent his generals to launch, the next second. 3 recently deceased souls responded to Qixing's call. Just a look, Qixing already understood what this place was. And a more secretive organization has quietly emerged here, Shell. This is an organization that will not appear until a long time later. Chapter 87 Shell and Sing. At this time, Qixing was sitting half a meter high, and the 3 soul bodies in his hands had begun to slowly dissipate. It was actually swallowed directly by the 7 stars. From the memories of the 3 soul bodies, Qixing obtained some information about this city. An organization called the Shell rules here, and there are many people here who use scientific ninja tools as part of their bodies. According to the memories of the 3 people, most of those who have been transformed are members of Shell's outer formation. Power ranges from Chunin to Elite Jonin. All members of the inner circle of this organization have Roman numerals tattooed on their faces and wear black hoods and cloaks with silver pins tied to their right shoulders. All members of the inner formation are extremely mysterious and cannot be seen except during special periods. Qixing's face was full of excitement when he heard the news. These are all the boosts for my growth. As he spoke, Qixing walked out of the alley. At this time, people were coming and going on the streets, and people who had been transformed by scientific ninja tools could be seen everywhere. However, as soon as Qixing walked out of the hidden alley, he was discovered. To be precise, it was discovered by the city's detection system. Qixing walking on the street seemed unaware of the illusion. At this time, in the center of the city, in a huge conference room in a tall building with dozens of floors, several people were looking at the big screen, and the person shown on the screen was Qixing walking out of the alley. Chief, that kid suddenly appeared in the city without any warning. None of the detection devices in the city captured how the man entered here. The leader looked at Qixing walking slowly in the city on the screen, with a smile on his lips. HMPH. Interesting guy, he must be some kind of space ninjutsu, it's really a bit troublesome. If the 3rd stage of the contract is completed, I will have nothing to worry about in this ninja world. As he spoke, he disappeared directly into the conference room. When the man in black robe appeared again, he was already standing above the 7 stars. People were coming and going on the street, but no one looked up to look at the man in black robe suspended in the air. The moment Qixing sensed something approaching him, he directly opened the Rinnegan. The moment he opened his eyes, a ray of light flew toward Qixing at an extremely fast speed, and finally stopped above his head. The sudden appearance of this person made Qixing very alert. Although he was strong, he was in a strange environment after all. Without intelligence, it was always right to be more careful. The man saw Qixing's alert look, smiled and said nothing. Then without looking back, he flew towards the desert outside the city. At this time, Qixing frowned and asked, System. Check out that guy's profile. Ding. Target. Sing. Age. 10-20 years old. Realm. Super Cage level late stage. Ability. Wedge, State 1 C Xian used the wedge to enter the form after the curse seal transformation, and blue and black marks appeared all over the body. The combat effectiveness is even better than that of the mid-6 paths. Wedge, State 2 C Xian uses wedge to transform into an advanced form. In this state, C Xian has a single horn on his head, and his combat power has reached the early stage of immortal level. Skill. Advertisement Space Portal. One of the abilities of Wedge is to summon a black hole-like object around you, which can freely travel through different spaces. No seal is required to activate this technique. Absorption. One of the abilities of Wedge, it can absorb any ninjutsu and convert it into chakra and store it in the body. It can also directly absorb the opponent's chakra. Floating. Able to float freely in the air, exactly the same as Host's air dance. Physical skills. C Xian's physical skills are very powerful, even comparable to Might Guy at full 8 gate. One of Xiaoming Pai Guna's abilities is that he can shrink himself hundreds of times, and he can also make objects larger or smaller. Contract Beast. 10 Tails. Ji Xian's 10 Tails comes from Otsutsuki Ashiki, and is now sealed away in a ruins by Ji Xian. Illusion and Communication, manifesting an illusion of oneself in a specific location. Ninja Tool. Black Rod, is an item created through Yin-Yang escape technique. It contains Rinnegan's outer power, which can seal the opponent's acupuncture points for refining chakra and disrupt its chakra. It has a stronger effect on tailed beasts and can also be used as a weapon. Si Xian is able to create stick-sized black rods for use in battle. Wei, Ju, Si, it is an item similar to the black rod. Like the black rod, it is made by yin-yang escape technique. When inserted into the opponent's body, it can not only block the opponent's acupuncture points for refining chakra, but also absorb the opponent's chakra. Si Xian can launch multiple pegs from his hands to attack the opponent, and can also make them smaller or larger to attack the opponent and cause heavy damage to the opponent. Coffin. A ninja tool made through yin-yang dun, which looks like a teapot and can become larger or smaller to seal the enemy inside. Seeing this, Qixing trembled all over, only to hear Qixing muttering to himself. Powerful, really powerful, ha ha ha, sure enough, I made the right choice to come here. Open black lens bracket ding. Host, the Sing, is just one of the turning containers of Otsutsuki. Close black lens bracket. What, you said that Guy is a vessel for the reincarnation of other people's souls, Otsutsuki Ishiki said. As expected, the Otsutsuki clan doesn't have a simple character. That's great. Such a strong person is exactly what I'm looking for. Sooner or later, I, Qixing, will reveal all your secrets. I didn't expect that such a powerful Sing is just a container. Although it is unexpected, when it comes to the Otsutsuki clan, there is nothing surprising. If you can have such strength as a container, then how strong is the body of Otsutsuki Ishiki, and who is the person who killed or seriously injured him? I feel like I'm getting closer to this secret of the ninja world. Then the corner of his mouth curled up, which was a bit interesting. After saying this, Qixing's figure had disappeared in the crowd. Cut through the void and came outside the city. What caught his eye was a man in black robes standing not far away. It seemed that he had already calculated that Qixing would definitely come after him. Next moment, the man in black robe turned his head, took off his cloak, and looked at Qixing. Boy, you are pretty good. Are you interested in joining our organization? When Qixing heard this, he smiled. Are you talking about the organization Shell? Siheng's heart was turned upside down when he heard a stranger from Qixing tell the truth about the organization he had worked so hard to create. The word shock was written on his face. Chapter 88 Above 6 Paths, Otsutsuki 1 Style. You kid actually knows about Shell, who are you? Is it a person from the Pure Land? Or is it the human container of a few other old guys? Don't tell me. Snort. I don't care who you are, if you dare to come here to die, don't even think about going back. Face your fears, kid. With that said, Sing Chaoying's late-stage momentum exploded, and his figure came to Qixing within a tenth of a second. Qixing could only see a big foot, heading straight towards his face. In his normal state, he had just broken through the early stage of Super Shadow, but his reaction was extremely fast, and he directly protected his cheeks with his hands. There was a loud bang, and Qixing's figure flew backwards 100 meters away. Just when Sing was disdainful, the figure turned into white smoke and disappeared. Sing let out a light sigh. The response was pretty quick. As soon as he said this, Sing felt a violent energy coming from behind him, lightning style, blast your balls. At this moment, Qixing's right foot was surrounded by a strong electric light. The thunder light kicked Siheng's lower body with lightning speed. If this blow was hit, Sing would probably lose a treasure. But Sing looked behind him with a gloomy look, and then his whole body chakra trembled suddenly. He used the black rod directly on his body. In an instant, Qixing's whole body was filled with black rods, and the chakra all over his body was completely sealed, and even disrupted the flow of his chakra. Siheng's figure did not move in place, and Qixing's big feet the thunder light has dissipated. Siheng said disdainfully, young man, you actually use such a despicable trick, watch me retaliate in my own way. As he spoke, Siheng, an old guy who had lived for 1,000 years, seemed to be really angered by Qixing. His right leg was wrapped with countless small black sticks, and he kicked Qixing's lower body violently. Qixing couldn't help but laugh when he saw this, and said loudly, old guy, you've lived for 1,000 years and you're still so childish. When Siheng heard Qixing's words, his heart was shocked. Even I have lived for 1,000 years and know that this kid seems to know a lot of secrets and cannot keep them. Then the black rod on his right leg became thicker and faster, and directly kicked Qixing. Qixing was already on guard. Although the chakra was sealed, Kamui's ability could still be easily activated. Thinking of this, his body immediately hollowed to avoid Siheng's severing step. When Siheng saw the hollow of Qixing's body, he immediately thought of his space ability. Then, the black rod on Siheng's right leg was immediately covered with a milky white halo, and the next moment Qixing felt a threat of death coming. Kamui's teleportation started immediately, and his body was teleported 100 meters away in an instant. It seemed that this guy's spatial ability was no longer inferior to mine. Thinking of this, Qixing changed his tactics, quickly formed seals with his hands, and extinguished the fire style. When Siheng saw the flame, he didn't even think about avoiding it. At this time, the huge flame enveloped Siheng. However, Siheng was not harmed at all. At this moment, Siheng's big hand was opened. A huge suction force absorbed fire style, Hao Huo Mingui completely. Qixing frowned slightly when he saw this. I didn't expect that it was exactly as the system said. This guy's ability can actually absorb ninjutsu, then try my fastest lightning style. Qixing saw his hands forming seals again, lightning style, Kamui Reikari, a 100-meter-long lightning rod slashed towards Siheng. Advertisement. Sihing frowned slightly when he saw this. The space lightning method is a good idea, but it's not enough. After saying that, a huge peg appeared in front of Sihing. The all-inclusive space thunder method was actually blocked by the black stone pillar. However, he did not react with the 7 stars. The next moment, the energy on the 7 stars Kamui Reikari passed away quickly. It grows weaker and weaker and finally dissipates. Qixing was shocked. This is another technique to absorb chakra. Is this guy a blue monster? Can he absorb all ninjutsu? The 7-star handprint that did not believe in evil changed again, fire style, skyfire crazy dragon, and saw 2 giant dragons nearly a kilometer flying towards Sihing. With disdain on his face, Sihing stretched out his hands, and 2 black squares lit up in his palms. The 2 giant dragons were directly absorbed into Sihing's body without any warning. At this moment Qixing finally believed it. This guy can really absorb all ninjutsu except taijutsu, and there is no doubt that he can absorb blue monsters. Seeing this, Qixing no longer held back and directly activated Super Saiyan. Golden energy swept through his body, and his golden hair rose into the sky. Sihing was shocked when he saw this. This guy actually has an ability similar to his own, Wedge State, and after turning it on, his strength directly increased from the early stage of Super Shadow to the early stage of 6 Paths. The moment Sihing was observing Qixing, Qixing's attack had already arrived. Sihing smiled innocently. After saying that, Sihing's body also began to change. It was precisely after using the Wedge State 1. I saw blue-black marks all over Sihing's body instantly, and the marks showed vertical lines, and his strength was also upgraded to the middle of 6 paths. Seeing the 7 stars attack, the two began to fight in physical skills. The fists and kicks of the two left only afterimages in the air. A few minutes later, Sihing seized the opportunity and kicked Qixing away, crashing into a high mountain behind. There was an explosion and the mountain collapsed in an instant. Just when Sihing thought he had dealt with Qixing, an even more violent green energy shot into the sky. At this time, Qixing transformed into Super Saiyan 2, and his whole body was wrapped in green light. At this time, Sihing could only see a ball of green energy rushing towards him at the speed of light. Sihing's body, which was unprepared, was instantly blasted into the ground. There was another burst of smoke and dust. At this time, the 7 stars stood in the void. The violent energy had already reached the late 6 paths stage. As for the underground where Sihing was, after a slight cough, the earth and rocks collapsed. Sihing walked out of the underground and waved the smoke away. Looking at the 7 stars in the sky, boy, your strength is really good. You are qualified to see my second state. As Sihing's body became full of energy again, Sishen used the wedge to transform into an advanced form. At this time, Sishen had a single horn on his head, and his strength had reached the early stage of immortal level. The violent energy shook the surrounding earth and rocks flying into the sky. This guy is also the strongest opponent Qixing has encountered so far, none of them. At this time, Qixing saw Sihing in this state and already understood that Otsutsuki had appeared in one move. He said excitedly, immortal level, that's higher than the 6 paths. I knew how a guy from the Otsutsuki clan could be weak if he could come to the ninja world from such a faraway place. At this time Qixing was trembling all over. It was all due to excitement that a fanatical expression appeared on his face. Chapter 89 5 Elements Sealing Heaven Killing Formation. But Sihing at this time, more accurately speaking, is now Otsutsuki Ashiki. He frowned and looked at the crazy 7 stars. Without saying anything, he stretched out his hands towards the 7 stars. The ground was covered with black rods covering 1,000 meters in radius, imprisoning the 7 stars. Then he disappeared and kicked Nanohoshi's chest with great force. Nanohoshi used Kamui Hollow, but to no avail. It even directly kicked Qixing out of the space in hollow state. With a powerful and heavy kick, Qixing's body plowed a 1,000-meter-long ravine on the ground. After stopping, Qixing spit out a mouthful of blood. This was also the first time that Qixing was injured and vomited blood during the battle. However, Qixing was still smiling, and his smile was even crazier, and he kept shouting. Good, good, it feels wonderful. After speaking, he stuck out his tongue, licked the blood around his mouth, and stood upright. Then I will also let you see my true power, ha ha ha. Otsutsuki 1 style. Sihing, who was called out by name at this time, was not much shocked anymore, because the guy in front of him was really the strongest opponent he had ever encountered in this small ninja world. Except Kagaya Haim. Such a strong person knew some secrets or nothing incredible. At this time, Qixing's whole body was concentrated with energy. In addition to the green energy, it was wrapped in a layer of black thunder and lightning. His hair was also dyed extremely dark black by the lightning, and there were traces of black arcs wrapped around him. At this moment, the two people's realms actually reached the early stage of the immortal level. The two figures collided with each other instantly. The terrifying and violent energy escaped at this moment. Within thousands of meters around, the mountains and boulders were all dispersed by the two of them. The energy was blown to pieces. The violent energy even affected the mechanical city dozens of kilometers away. At this time, the residents in the city fell into inexplicable panic. But the moment the members of the inner formation of the shell appeared, all the people became quiet. At this time, all the members of the inner formation of the shell gathered in the city: Guoxin Jushi, Bola, Victor, Deluda, and Cod. These 5 people all possess Super Cage level strength. If this kind of strength appeared in the 5 major countries now, I am afraid it would cause a huge storm. At this time, 5 people appeared at the same time and walked out towards the door, which also shocked the people in the whole city. They had never seen all the inner formation members of the organization dispatched together. At the same time, Qixing and Sihing were on the battlefield. On the ground, within tens of thousands of meters, the 2 people had beaten them, and the depression was nearly 100 meters deep. I saw Qixing's appearance changing again. The black-green light around him was enveloped by a blood-colored energy. Apparently Qixing had once again opened the death door of the 8 inner gates. At this time, on the battlefield, Qixing transformed into a blood dragon, getting bigger and bigger, rushing towards Sihing at a speed close to light. Sihing was shocked when he saw this, and at the same time, pegs kept appearing in front of him. All I heard was, dong dong dong, 3 muffled sounds in a row. The night guy of 7 stars kicked 3 5-meter diameter black pillars in front of Sihing to pieces. The last remaining force hit Sihing's chest, only knocking him back 100 meters without causing any damage. However, in such an immortal level battle, Uncle Ichiraku, a man integrated with the way of heaven, was completely unaware of it. It seems that the ninja world except for the 5 major countries is shrouded in a strange energy. 7 stars only seem to notice it when they reach the immortal level. This also explains one of the reasons why the 5 major nations do not dare to expand outwards. Advertisement. And on the battlefield, the battle between Qixing and Sihing became more and more frightening. Both sides discovered the strangeness of the energy in the other's body. Compared with the ordinary chakra in the ninja world, the energy attributes of the 2 of them were 1 level higher than the chakra. At this time, Sihing, who could also be said to be a Otsutsuki, was shocked in his heart, and already had the idea of capturing Qixing alive and getting the secrets of his body. Then he pointed his finger on his forehead and sent out a message, asking all members of the inner formation to prepare to set up a barrier. The 2 of them had their own concerns and began to collide again. One wanted to get the other's method to improve his strength, and the other wanted to use the other to hone himself and improve his bloodline development. The battle at this time was getting more and more intense, and Qixing had completely given up on ninjutsu and ninjutsu. They were fighting entirely with their bodies, but the Otsutsuki's styles were different but the same. At this time, the rumble in the sky was getting faster and faster. The aura around the 2 of them has spread thousands of meters away. Suddenly, a group of 10 people appeared in the distance. 5 of them were members of the inner formation of the shell, while the remaining 5 seemed to be the reconnaissance team of the outer formation. It was seen that each of the 5 people in the reconnaissance team had the strength of a Jonin, or even an elite Jonin. The 5 people rushed forward, and soon they were only a few kilometers away from the battlefield. The 5 people looked intently at the battlefield ahead, where the mountains had collapsed and countless cracks appeared on the ground. A few of them might want to find out more about the battle out of duty, or they might want to get a closer look at the battle between the 2 powerful men. Several people walked forward cautiously, but one of them, Elite Jonin, was impatient. Why were they being cautious? He didn't want to step forward to fight. After saying that, the man's speed suddenly increased, and the familiar person behind him shouted, "Brother Big Chicken, don't be impulsive. That is the leader's battle." But as soon as he finished speaking, the ninja named Brother Big Chicken had already rushed forward 100 meters. Next moment, the man's body was frozen in place, and the 4 people behind him didn't know why. Some people wanted to go up to investigate the situation, but were stopped by the 5 people who came immediately. Fruity Heart Layman's way. That guy is dead, don't worry about him. With that kind of terrifying aura, even a pig can feel the threat of death. With his elite Jonin strength, he thinks everyone in the ninja world can go there. Innocent. After saying this, the body of the immobilized person started to fall apart like rags. And Victor said, "In this terrifying aura, I am afraid that any being with less strength than the 2 of them will enter, ranging from serious injuries to death on the spot. Don't worry about them. Let's start setting up the 5 elements sealing heaven killing formation. This is also a gift prepared by the leader for his old friends. I don't know who is coming this time." Bolo chuckled. Never mind him. The leader will bring him later. Can we see him soon?" After saying that, the 5 people quickly returned to their positions with the battlefield as the center. After standing in the 5 directions, the 5 people directly opened the wedge seal and entered the wedge seal form. Green and black marks appeared all over the body, which was similar to Sihing wedge. Yin Yi's state is very similar. The strength of several people in the early stage of Super Shadow was directly promoted to the early stage of 6 paths. Chapter 90. I didn't expect that one day, I would also use this technique. I saw 5 people forming seals at the same time. However, the number of seals seemed a bit complicated. The 5 people formed the seals for several minutes before slamming their hands to the ground. On the ground, 5 8 trigrams lines quickly spread outward and the lines in the 5 directions were linked together. Afterwards, pillars of light rose one after another. Guoxin Layman, wind attribute energy beam. Bola, a fire attribute energy beam. Victor, the earth attribute energy beam. Deluda, wood attribute energy beam. Calder, water attribute energy beam. 5 energy beams quickly rose into the sky and then turned into a barrier, centering on the battlefield, wrapping a range of 2 kilometers within it. The 7 stars who were fighting fiercely at this time seemed to be aware of it. They looked up at the sky and saw energy of 5 colors filling the top of their heads. At this time, Qixing had already made plans to retreat. The moment he saw himself enveloped by the formation, he already felt something that could threaten his life appearing. Qixing knew that the thing above his head was dangerous, so he immediately pushed Sing away and used his space ability to escape in a flash. But the next moment, the surrounding space was all imprisoned by the barrier, unable to use the space ability. At this time, Qixing had no time to think too much, and his figure quickly flew upwards, trying to escape from the barrier. But the light of these 5 attributes seemed to have souls, turned into strands of sword light, and crashed directly into Qixing, trying to block his way. Seeing this, Qixing High Emperor Chanlingzhen activated, and countless 5-color sword threads were struck by eye absorption. When Sing saw Qixing's ability, he was shocked and said, "This is actually the technique of Otsutsuki Momoshiki. How could it be possible? Is he the container of Momoshiki?" But that guy didn't come to the ninja world at all. Could it be that after 1,000 years, my family sent someone here again? A hole. Seeing Qixing rising extremely fast, how could Sing let Qixing escape at this time? I saw Sihang's hand seals changing again. A huge coffin fell from the sky and hit Qixing's head. With this blockage, the remaining sword light was already very close to Qixing. In desperation, Qixing flew out 5 clones to block the sword light for a moment, and then used his water clone to appear instantly, 100 meters away. But this was all part of Sihang's plan. A terrifying energy was still condensing in Sihang's hand. The moment Qixing showed his body, the energy beam in Sihang's hand had already arrived in front of Qixing. Seeing this terrifying beam of light, the 7-star dead souls emerge. Not only did they activate the Suzanai Buddha form in an instant, but they also wanted to use Kamui to divert this terrifying energy beam. But Sing had long understood Qixing's fighting method. This energy of light speed was actually mixed with a milky white energy, which broke Kamui's space power, and the terrifying energy directly hit Qixing. Qixing's body was blown out of Susanna, and Qixing's Susanoo Daibutsu was instantly torn to pieces by the energy. After his body flew out, he hit the barrier and spit out a mouthful of blood with a bang. Qixing slid to the ground and looked at Sing in front of him with a contemptuous smile on his lips. Sing didn't expect that you would use this method to fight. You really live up to the reputation of the Otsutsuki clan. But how could Sing be aroused by Qixing's words? Sing saw a black stick in Sihang's hand, forming a spear that condensed into shape, and was thrown towards Qixing in the next moment. And Qixing formed a seal with his hands, true clone technique. At this moment, hundreds of clones were seen rushing towards Sing, each of them having 10% of the combat power of the original body. The spear formed by the black rod directly pierced the dozen clones of the 7 stars into a string, and finally hit the barrier. But at this time, Sing could not distinguish the real 7 stars from the false ones. Hundreds of 7 stars came to Sing one after another. In front of Hang, various underhanded tricks were frequently used. Advertisement, however, while each clone was fighting frantically, they were also frantically devouring the white clay. Sing frowned at this scene. What kind of ninjutsu is this? But this question was quickly answered. At this time, hundreds of 7 stars, after eating clay, all began to emit white light, and the rays of light were connected together in just one breath. A terrifying energy surged out from hundreds of parts of his body. Seeing this scene, Sing also understood that this was actually a self-explosion of clay. At this time, Sing stretched out his hands, and thousands of black rods rose from the ground. More or less 2 black rods were inserted into each of the 7 stars' bodies, but the terrifying explosion did not stop. Sing roared angrily, "Are you crazy? In this kind of barrier, even you will be killed. Hey, you don't want to die, and of course I don't want to either, so you will definitely absorb the energy of the explosion, right?" Seeing this scene, Sing was filled with rage. The next moment, hundreds of 7-star clones appeared, and the light finally reached its limit. With a bang, they exploded at the same time. This power was equivalent to the explosion of dozens of Didara's C0 bombs. Even Sing took a breath, no longer hesitated, and hid directly in his coffin. Seeing this, Qixing scolded his mother directly, "Can you still G play like this? What cow? Brother, please show some martial ethics. You should absorb some energy before leaving." However, the power of the explosion had already unfolded. At this time, Qixing had no choice but to use the High Emperor's Spirit Master to absorb the terrifying explosion energy. This is really shooting yourself in the foot. After several puffs, the aftermath of the terror dissipated, and the entire land within the barrier disappeared without a trace. Only a kilometer-diameter wellhead can be seen appearing in this forest. The barrier in the sky was also shattered at this moment, and 5 figures knelt down one after another, obviously being backlashed. There was blood flowing from the mouth. But the actual damage is not very great. Look at the 7 stars again. He looked as embarrassed as ever at this time. The clothes all over his body had been carbonized. His eyes had only absorbed 1/3 of the explosion energy before they were saturated, and now they were swollen like buns. But at the critical moment, the skill on the mask is used. The face of the great sage can absorb devastating damage once, but it will break after use. At this time, the artifact mask on Qixing's face also broke from the middle. This time I really lost my wife and lost my troops. This also reminds Qixing that in the future, you won't be able to act cool everywhere. Not only are the people of Pure Land extremely powerful, but even just one member of the Otsutsuki clan can make Qixing miserable. This incident finally reminded Qixing that keeping a low profile is the way to go. At this time, Sihang's coffin flew out of the soil, the coffin opened, and Sihang walked out of it. I only saw 7 stars 1,000 meters away, and I kept making seals in my hands. This seems to be it. Suddenly thinking of something, Qixing roared, "Stop him!" Guo Xin, the layman who was closest to Qixing, formed a seal with his hands, fire-style samadhi true fire, and the terrifying energy in Qixing's hands also waved out at the same time. But at this time, Qixing had already slapped his hands to the ground. After the 8 trigrams pattern, start the reverse summoning technique. I never thought that one day I, Qixing, would also use this technique. Then there was a bang, and the moment Qixing's energy and Guo Xin layman's flaying were about to hit Qixing, Qixing's figure also turned into a burst of white smoke and disappeared. Chapter 91 One of our own. Seeing Qixing escaping, Qixing was angry, but he also knew that the guy's strength was by no means inferior to his. It seems I have to find a suitable container as soon as possible, otherwise my strength will always be suppressed. At this moment, all 5 members of the inner formation of the shell came to Qixing, and saw Qixing waving his hands, and a black hole appeared in front of him. He said with a contemptuous smile, "Do you think I can't find you if I reverse summoning? I'm naive. That guy is already injured, you." But before he could finish his words, suddenly the round card on Qixing's chest split into several cracks. At this time, Qixing frowned. "Has your body reached its limit at this time? It seems that I can only let that kid go this time." "Chief, let's go after that kid." "No need." As he spoke, he casually removed the black hole. "Just now, from the other side of the portal, I vaguely sensed the aura of a pseudo-immortal. If you go there, you will die. And judging from the time that kid formed the seal, it should be a very far away reverse summoning technique. Maintaining such a portal consumes too much money on me. It's a pity that I don't know whether he is from the Pure Land or from the 5 great countries. Now our hiding spot may have been exposed. Immediately initiate a preparatory plan to move the city further away. It's the leader." As he spoke, several people began to take action. As for Nanahe, who used the reverse summoning technique, after several minutes of endless darkness, when he saw the light again, he was already at Orochimaru Tomo's side. At this time, Qixing was dizzy and his body had reached its limit. As soon as he appeared, he fell to his knees. Then he still held on, stood up, and looked at his surroundings. Seeing this, even Qixing, who was extremely nervous, felt that the scene in front of him was extremely eye-catching. At this time, Qixing was seen in a huge cave. There was only one majestic table and chair in the cave, and a wooden bed dozens of meters wide was placed next to the seat. On the huge wooden bed, 2 human figures sometimes turned into snake bodies and were entangled for more than 100 meters. Sometimes they turned into human figures and rolled on the spacious bed. However, Qixing, who has a face as thick as a city wall, didn't blush when he saw this scene. Just whispering softly, "I didn't expect these 2 guys to like this tune." But Qixing didn't notice at this time that he was naked at this time, and half of his dark body was stained red with blood. Originally, the appearance of Qixing at an untimely time was not a big problem. I was naked, and when I saw an unsightly scene, I just watched it and left immediately so no one would know. But the problem was that Qixing had a bad mouth just now, and that murmur instantly awakened the 2 snakes from a heart-wrenching fight. This is G embarrassing. At this time, 6 eyes faced each other in the huge cave, and the air instantly became quiet. But Qixing adhered to the principle that if he was not embarrassed, it would be others who were embarrassed. He touched his head and put on his own clothes. And finally, Orochi's crazy complaint came. "Oh my god, brother, you came at the right time. I was almost frightened to death by you." But Orochi, who wanted to continue to complain, saw that Qixing was covered in blood, and his anger was reduced by half in an instant, and he just said, "Next time you activate summoning, you'd better say hello first. If you don't feel embarrassed, Phosphorus and I will too." Advertisement. At this time, Qixing had already put on his clothes, stood there calmly, and asked softly, "Aren't you supposed to be training with your team members at this time?" This question directly hit the aggrieved Orochi's heart. At this time, the Orochi collapsed and roared, "I just G came here today. I've already settled those 3 little guys. I thought that the task was almost completed and I could take a vacation, but I didn't expect you to make trouble for me." "Okay, don't look aggrieved. In that case, I'll leave first." After saying that, he turned around and prepared to leave Ryuchi Cave. But seeing Qixing about to leave, Orochi was still a little worried about Qixing's condition. After all, Qixing was covered in blood and had cracks all over his body, which would be scary to anyone who saw it. Then, he asked softly, "Sir Qixing, are you okay?" Qixing smiled and shook his head. "You continue, I'm leaving." After saying this, Orochi and Bifosphorus looked at each other awkwardly. Nanahoshi was already staggering out of Ryuchi Cave at this time. But how can the big snake still be in the mood to do that this time? I'm afraid it can't be more great. Seeing Qixing staggering away, he immediately followed him. "Sir, please don't be brave. Even if your body is extremely resilient, the weird energy in your body is not that easy to eliminate. I know. There is no simple guy in the Otsutsuki clan. Although the old guy Ashiki is half dead, he is not a good person even so. It is a pity that I am at a disadvantage this time because I don't have the information there. Otherwise." Snort. "What, sir, you actually faced off against the guys from the Otsutsuki clan. The weakest of them are all immortal level beings." "Of course I know this, otherwise can ordinary waste hurt me?" Biphosphorus was shocked when he heard this. Sir, didn't you only show your mid-six paths combat power in the battle with me 2 months ago? Hearing this, the big snake frowned and said, Biphosphorus, don't delve into your master's secrets. Orochi, we don't have to be like this, there's nothing we can't say. My constitution is just special. There are many secret methods to improve strength. Last time I fought with you, some secret methods could not be used. But at this time, Biphosphorus didn't listen to what Qixing said behind him at all. He only heard the words about his own people. This made Biphosphorus' face turn red instantly, and he was stunned on the spot. When looking up again, Qixing and Orochi have come a long way. Biphosphorus, who then woke up, hurried to catch up and asked curiously, Sir, where are you going? Qixing turned around. Of course it's the revolving heaven show. I haven't been back for a year and a half. I don't know how those guys have completed their training. Sir, can I go? I've heard that Orochi told you about Tianshuman a long time ago, and I also want to see it. What, you left Ryuchi Cave alone? It's okay, with Shinya here, I don't think anyone in the ninja world dares to make trouble. Then let's go together. As Qixing was about to use space ninjutsu, Orochi hurriedly stopped him. Sir, you are injured, so I'll do it. After saying that, the big snake transformed into its true form, dragging the 7 stars and white phosphorus, and quickly flew towards Tiansho Gate. Chapter 92 changes in Tiansho sect. At this time, the big snake had been flying with Qixing and white phosphorus for more than a month. In the past month, Qixing's injuries had already recovered as before. At this moment, the 7 stars stand on top of the snake's head, looking proudly ahead, looking at the mountains passing by all around. There are already some familiar breaths coming to my face. Big snake. No need to rush, it takes less than 3 hours to reach Tiansho Gate. My injury has healed. You can rest. After entering Tiansho Mountain, you can no longer appear in the form of summoning beast. Otherwise, if you are seen by those boys, you may be in trouble again. Understood, sir? At the same time, the development of Tianshuman in the past 2 years, under the single-handed control of Long Xuanji, has gradually grown. At this time, Long Xuanji was standing on the high tower of Tianshuman, scanning the entire Tianshuman, looking down with a smile on his face. There were crowds of people, and he looked prosperous. In Tiansho Gate, the most prominent ones are the 6 new buildings. The Forging Pavilion can forge ninja tools of various grades. Genin, Chunin, a place to learn ninjutsu and knowledge. Danshengtong, this is Long Xuanji's unique alchemy place. The Law Enforcement Hall manages the order of the entire Tiansho secret realm. The Ninjutsu Hall houses most of the D-level to A-level ninjutsu in the entire ninja world. Dark Palace, the department responsible for collecting intelligence. Seeing the 2 people next to Long Xuanji here, they had compliments on their faces. Master Long, Tianshuman has developed rapidly in the past 2 years, and its overall strength has improved. It is completely different from 2 years ago. Long Xuanji looked at the 2 people, and her thoughts fell into memories. 2 years ago, he took the 3 little guys and set out for training, while also completing the tasks assigned by Qixing. One of the 3 mission targets was killed, and the other 2 chose to surrender and followed Long Xuanji to Tiansho Gate with all the clan members. And Long Xuanji brought all the masters he had cultivated in the outside world to the secret territory of Tiansho. A year ago, the craftsman village also moved its entire family to Tiansho Gate. At this time, the population in Tiansho secret territory was close to 10,000. Long Xuanji's heart felt hot when she thought of this. 2 years ago, when the adults left, there were only 1,000 people here. But 2 years later, this place has developed into a secret place with a population of nearly 10,000. This kind of development speed is shocking, and 90% of these 10,000 people are teenagers and middle-aged people, with very few elderly people. Thinking of this, Long Xuanji felt arrogant in her heart. But at this moment, there was a slight fluctuation in the formation in the secret realm. Long Xuanji frowned, her chakra eyes gathered, and she looked outside the formation. Just one glance made Long Xuanji excited, then he said to the 2 people behind him. The adults and Protector Yuan are back and are going to make preparations. Hearing this, the 2 people behind him were shocked and very curious. Advertisement, Lord Long is so strong, who can he be who can make him call me Lord? With a smile on her lips, Long Xuanji flew down to Tiansho Square. At this time, Tiansho Square was very lively, because today was the graduation exam for the new generation of genin from Tiansho sect, and those boys aged 12 or 13 were lining up. Teams were whispering, faces full of excitement. Of course, these little things are not because of the excitement of the exam, but because as long as you pass the genin exam, you will not only get the Forging Pavilion and customized ninja tools, but also a chance to transform your physique in the slimming furnace. These are the things little ones dream about. On the other side of Tiansho Square, in front of the Forging Pavilion, the leaders of the artisan village, Bao Gui and Peacock, watched all this with joy. Just listen to Bao Gui whisper, Peacock, I didn't expect that before we knew it, we have been living in Tianshuman for a year. I still remember when we first came here, you and I walked with our clansmen for half a year before we came here. At that time, I was so every time I wanted to give up, you were there to encourage me. Finally we got here. When I saw this ingenious cave paradise, I was shocked and laughed at by you many times. I didn't expect that it would be a year in just a blink of an eye. As expected, as the gentleman said, this is the most suitable place for the development of my craftsman village. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you, Peacock. There is no craftsman village anywhere now. It should be called Forging Pavilion. Also, between the two of us, do we still need to say thank you? Oh, I see. By the way, Agui, do you have enough points? That's almost it. If you build 3 legendary level ninja tools, you can use your points to exchange for a physical transformation opportunity in the slimming furnace. That was also the opportunity for me to break through to Elite Jonin. I didn't expect that Baogui, could reach Elite Jonin at the age of less than 30 years old. If I hadn't come here, maybe I would never have dared to break through so quickly in my life. What about you? How many points are you still missing? There is still a lot left, but this time I will use my points to exchange for a pill refined by Master G. In the 1 year since I've been here, I've seen 5 people take that kind of elixir. 2 of them directly broke through to a small level, and the other 2 people's aura increased significantly. There is still 1 person who has not changed, although the probability of breakthrough is not high, but this is also an opportunity for me. If I break through, I can reach the late stage of Jonin. If I accumulate points for another year, I should have enough points to exchange for the transformation of the self-cultivation furnace. Yeah, that's fine. I never expected that the decision I made back then would allow my artisan village to gain a foothold again. I really look forward to the day when you will establish the kingdom of Sho. By then, the ninja tools from my forging pavilion will once again be famous in the ninja world. Yeah, stop talking and let's go. I'm not done with my work today. After saying that, the 2 of them walked forward together. When they passed by the self-cultivation furnace, their hot eyes were like a pervert seeing a beautiful girl, and his saliva almost dropped to the ground. Bao Gui said, "Looking at those little guys, they can directly enter the self-cultivation furnace transformation without paying any price. I am really envious." When the peacock heard this, he covered his mouth and chuckled. "You are so grown up, and you are still comparing yourself to a child. Let's go. Today's task can be completed in about 3 hours. Later, we have to go to the Ninjutsu pavilion and find some good books on ninjutsu." Well, let's go. The moment the 2 of them turned around and prepared to enter the forging pavilion, suddenly, there was a violent fluctuation at the entrance of Tiansho Gate. The 2 of them looked up and found that 3 stalwart figures had appeared in Tiansho secret territory, and the sect master, Long Xuanji, was leading a group of people to greet them. Just listen to the familiar people below exclaim, "Those are the Star Protector and the Far Protector, they're back." Chapter 93 experienced settlement. At this time, all the disciples of Tiansho sect were cheering, because the sect leader said that their Tiansho sect was guarded by 2 legendary Super Cage level experts. This makes everyone feel at ease, and today they finally saw the legend. While everyone was whispering, Long Xuanji led a group of Tianshuman management people to the Qixing trio. Qixing raised his eyes and looked at the person in front of him. Unexpectedly, there were acquaintances among the management of Tianshuman. They were Bao Gui and Peacock from Craftsman Village. The moment Qixing looked forward, a dozen people shouted in unison, "I've seen the Star Protector, I've seen the Far Protector." All the disciples of Tiansho sect behind him also shouted, "I've seen the Star Protector, I've seen the Far Protector." But when everyone looked at the woman with an extraordinary temperament next to the 2 guardians, they were embarrassed. They had never seen this beautiful woman in front of them, and they didn't know how to call her. Long Xuanji asked with a smile, "Protector Yuan, who is this person next to you?" Orochi didn't know how to answer for a while. When Qixing heard this, "Take the topic." "Xuanji, this is a relative of Protector Yuan, and will be the 3rd protector in my sect from now on." After hearing this, everyone's eyes lit up. First of all, no matter how strong this woman is, just looking at her appearance makes people happy. However, can a woman who can follow the 2 guardians be an ordinary person? Everyone thought with their butts, knowing that this was absolutely impossible. Everyone who reacted shouted in unison again, "I've seen Protector Bai." Maybe it was the beauty effect. This time in the Tiansho sect, the disciples shouted extremely hard, and the whole audience even cheered 3 times. These guys. And this also made White Phosphorus a little flattered. Of course, they don't know the true identity of White Phosphorus, otherwise they would be frightened to the point of incontinence in an instant. Just when everyone was talking about it, Qixing began to take a serious look at the brand new Tiansho Gate. With just one glance, 7 strange high-rise buildings came into view, which made Qixing's eyes light up instantly. The tall cylindrical building in the middle is the most dazzling. However, the most eye-catching thing is the rows of little guys next to the tall building. They are the 2nd-generation disciples of Tiansho sect. They are lining up in a long line, preparing to enter the self-cultivation furnace and transform their bodies. Some little guys cast their sights on Qixing from time to time. Obviously, these guys are also extremely curious about Qixing and the others. Seeing this scene, Qixing suddenly thought of a passage from his previous life. "These are the flowers and bones of the motherland. They are the future of my beautiful country." At this time Qixing couldn't help but admire, "Xuanji, you did a good job." Hearing this, Long Xuanji breathed a long sigh of relief. Being recognized by adults is exactly what I, Long Xuanji, have been striving for my whole life. It was also in this lively atmosphere that Long Xuanji led Qixing and a group of senior executives to the cylindrical tall building. When they got closer, they discovered that the tall building was 50 meters in diameter. The height of the building is nearly 100 meters. It looked majestic, and a group of 12 people entered the high-rise conference hall and took their seats. At this time, there were 3 seats at the head of the conference hall. It was obvious that this was Long Xuanji's intention. After the 12 people were seated, after half an hour of discussion between various departments, they gave a detailed explanation on the future development of Tianshumen and briefly summarized the 3 most important points. Advertisement, first. Establish the Kingdom of Shou within 1 year, so in recent times, developing and expanding the sect is the top priority. Population is also essential. Second, Tianshumen has become somewhat famous in the ninja world. It received an invitation from San Shinobi Village a few days ago, and the sect leader or protector will lead people to take the Chunin exam. Third, according to the news from the members of the Dark Palace in my hands, a very powerful force, an organization called Akatsuki, is collecting tailed beasts in the ninja world. Our attitude is to wait and see what happens. Fourth, several unknown forces in the ninja world have begun to surface. After the meeting, Qixing stood up and dismissed everyone, leaving only Dashi, Biphosphorus, and Long Xuanji. The 3 of you can be said to be the strongest combat power of Tianshumen today. I hope that in the next period of time, we will focus on vigorously developing Tianshumen. Orochi, especially you, should learn more from Xuanji. It's an adult. Biphosphorus, you are here as a guest. Although you are one of our own, I just said that your status as a protector still depends on your own wishes. This, Lord Qixing, I am willing to do. Yay, very good. From now on, Tianshumen, and even Shojiguo, will be in the hands of a few of you. The 3 of them were puzzled for a while after hearing this. At the same time, he asked, "What about you, sir? I'm not with you yet, but if you want to become stronger, you can't just grow up in a small place like this." "Okay, I have to go back to Konoha village now. I will be back after tomorrow. I think those little guys should have completed their training." "Congratulations, your majesty." After saying this, Qixing's figure also disappeared. When Qixing appeared again, people were already moving quickly in the sky. It only took 3 days for Qixing's figure to arrive outside Konoha village. At this time, Qixing suddenly raised a point in the void with one hand, and the person had arrived at Tianji Tower, inside. This is also one of the functions of the Tianji Tower. As long as people are within 10 kilometers of the Tianji Tower, they can directly return to the Tianji Tower. This saves Qixing a lot of trouble. The moment Qixing came back, Uncle Ichiraku's hands visibly shook and he smiled. He came back at this time and became stronger again. It's incredible. Qixing, who had just entered the Tianji building, instantly received countless system messages. Ding! Congratulations to host for completing the training mission and earning 50,000 points. Congratulations to host. All the disciples of the Tiansho sect were promoted to Chunin, and 3 of them were promoted to Jonin, earning 30,000 points. Congratulations to the host. You won't fall behind in the fight against the 3 immortals, and you will be rewarded with Sage Art. The method of 3 immortals returning to 1. 3 immortals return to 1. 3 Sage Art can be merged into 1. The prerequisite is that you must learn the 3 Sage modes. Note: the 3 immortals return to 1 method is a special skill that can be activated at the same time as the super sailing. It will not be assimilated by the super sailing. Congratulations to host for discovering the power that Otsutsuki created in advance, Shell, and successfully escaped from the siege of his organization, and the reward is Ninja Technique, Swift Wind. Ninja Technique. Swift Wind, when activated, can greatly increase one's own movement speed. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 94. Stunning Beauty List, Artifact List, Combat Power List, Ninjutsu List. Ding! Congratulations to host, you have returned from this experience and gained a total of 90,000 points. Close black lens bracket. Ding! Tianji Tower's major lists have been updated. Please ask host if it will upgrade the major lists. Close black lens bracket. Oh, will any functions be added after the upgrade? Ding! After upgrading, you can locate people or objects on the list. The prerequisite is that the person or object you need to locate is within the ninja world. Close black lens bracket. Hey, this is not bad. Then upgrade, the stunning list, the artifact list, the combat power list. Then start a new list, the ninjutsu list. Ding! Congratulations to host, you spent 30,000 points to be ranked on the stunning list and the artifact list. Combat strength list. Upgrade to level 2 and enable level 2 functions for precise positioning. Close black lens bracket. Ding! Congratulations to host, you spent 10,000 points to open the ninjutsu ranking. Please check it yourself. Close black lens bracket. Huh, I spent 40,000 points in one go. But I'm very curious about the system. Why hasn't the list been updated automatically in the past 2 years when I'm not in Tianji Tower? Ding! Because the host is not within the coverage of the Tianji Tower, the system is too far away from the Tianji Tower, so the Tianji Tower can only operate on its own. Close black lens bracket. Furthermore, because the weapon spirit of the Tianji Tower is a newly born weapon spirit, his wisdom is not very high. He cannot deduce the secret of heaven on his own, nor can he obtain the information on the list. There is no permission to open the Tianji disc. Close black lens bracket. There are also distance restrictions. Ding! Yes host. The system is currently only a secondary system, and many heaven-defying functions are not enabled. Close black lens bracket. I see. By the way, Tianji Tower, is the new weapon spirit male or female? Ding! Host, are you expecting a weapon spirit to have a gender? Close black lens bracket. Ahem. I'm just curious to ask. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. I have to go down and see the changes in the list. After saying that, he turned around and disappeared. When Qixing arrived on the first floor, he suddenly discovered that the four walls on the first floor were surrounded by people again. And the little girl Quan was moving nimbly among the crowd. She was holding a tray in her left hand, and she was bringing plates of delicious food to the guests' tables. Those guests were looking at the four major lists with great interest. Among the four major lists, the people next to the stunning list are definitely the most numerous. Because the list that was said to be updated 2 years ago has not been updated, but today, they were lucky enough to wait, and some supporters of the list actually read the names and information on the list. Stunning Wood Expulsion Name, updated. First place, Hyuga Hinata. Second place, Mao Yu Shi Yan. Third place, Kagaya. Fourth place, Terumi Mei. Fifth Ming, Conan. Sixth place, Senju Tsunade. Seventh place, Flower Bell. Eighth place, Witch Shion. Ninth place, Everyday. 10th place, Yamanaka Ino. Everyone laughed happily when they saw this. I never thought that we would have the opportunity to see so many beauties that we yearn for on the list, and there seem to be quite a few of them in my Konoha village. Ha 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 ha. It seems that we are single enough and we are blessed. Hearing this, Tianshan, who was standing in front of the ninja list and watching, had a mocking look on his face. It's just you. The moment Tianshan turned his head, someone immediately recognized him. Look, everyone, that's the 9th most beautiful girl from Wood Expulsion, Tianshan. Wow, he looks exactly the same as in the scroll. I love it. How about we go up and ask him for an autograph or something? Maybe we can crowd up together and take advantage of the chaos. Hearing this, pairs of big eyes in the crowd stared. Damn, brother, you are really not afraid of death. This is Tianji Tower. The S*X friend who was so stuck a few days ago was directly hit by a bolt of lightning. He is still lying in Konoha Hospital. No matter what these people say, Tianshan doesn't bother to pay attention to these guys. The aura on his body was exuding, and no one within 2 meters dared to come close. Tianfeng turned his head calmly and looked at the ninja list in front of him. Ninja Tool List, Artifact List, updated. First place, Slim Furnace. Second place, Tianum Spear. Advertisement. Third place, 10-Fist Sword. Fourth place, Samahata. Fifth place, Flame Ball Fan and Banana Fan. Sixth place, Pheasant Sword. Seventh place, 8-Foot Mirror. Eighth place, 8-Foot Magatama. Ninth place, Ape Demon Rui Stick. Number 10, the Reforged 7-Star Sword. After seeing these ninja tools, Tianshan's heart was extremely hot. As a ninja whose dream is to collect the world's super ninja tools, I swear every day that I will find these ninja tools. Just when Tianshan looked longing for it, the crowd in front of the combat power list began to get restless. Oh my god, what did I see? The combat power list was just updated, take a look. Combat strength list, updated. First place, Kagaya. Second place, Otsutsuki 1 Style. Third place, Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Fourth place, Otsutsuki Hamura. Fifth place, Super League 3, 7 stars. Sixth place, Kuki Orochi. Seventh place, White Snake Immortal. Eighth place, Great Toad Sage. Ninth place, Reincarnation, Madara. 10th place, Sage Art, Hashirama. The top 4 who did not arrive first are all members of the Otsutsuki clan. Does anyone know these people? Why do I have no impression of them at all? There are existences that I don't know about in this huge ninja world. Cut. Who do you think you are? Even the Otsutsuki clan doesn't know who you are, and you're still pretending to be cool. Sage of 6 Paths belongs to the Otsutsuki clan. He is ranked 3rd on the list, see clearly. But now there is an additional Otsutsuki 1 Style. I have never heard of this one, but since it is from the same family as Sage of 6 Paths, it must be the same. And everyone, look at that guy named Qixing. I remember that when he first came out on the strength list 2 years ago, he was ranked 10th. But who would have thought that he would have climbed to 5th in the strength list so quickly? Oh my god, has that guy grown so much in just 2 years? How on earth is he practicing? After hearing what these people said, Tianshan also frowned. Qixing, could it be the Qixing brother I know? Then he shook his head and said, no way, he is just a senior blacksmith. He must have the same name. At this time, in the Tianji building, a group of guys standing in front of the ninjutsu list were already going crazy. Their eyes were looking straight at the ninjutsu on the ninjutsu list. The first place, Heaven's Royal Guard, and Kill the Ashes Together. Second place, Rinne Tensai Technique. Third place, Distinguished Heavenly Gods. Fourth place, Double Kamui. Fifth place, 8 Inner Gates, Night Guy. Sixth place, Flying Thunder God Technique. Seventh place, Impure World Reincarnation. Eighth place, Sage Art Wood Style, True Several Thousand Hands, Buddha on top. Ninth place, Complete Susanoo. 10th place, Wheel Revolving Heaven Eyes of God. Everyone didn't look at the other ninjutsu carefully at all, they just stared at the introduction of Rinne Tensai Technique. Chapter 95. This is simply a free gift at this time. I didn't know who it was, and whispered the introduction of Rinne Tensai Technique, and I only heard the person whisper. Rinne Tensai Technique. Summons the King of Hell, lets him open his mouth, releases the souls of countless dead, returns the souls to the dead, and resurrects the dead. This technique costs the life of the caster, the resurrected object dies. The longer the time and the more people are resurrected, the more chakra is consumed. If the resurrected object is an impure world reincarnation person, the impure world reincarnation state will be automatically released. Hearing this, everyone's breathing began to quicken, and they wanted to know crazily who owned this ninjutsu. As for their purpose, they wanted to know with their butts. They must want to resurrect some of their relatives and friends. And who wouldn't want to have this kind of ninjutsu that can perfectly resurrect people without any side effects? But they ignored the restrictions on the use of this ninjutsu, and even more so, even if others had it, why would they give up their lives to help you? What makes them even more unexpected is that they will soon realize their dream, because not long after, the entire Konoha village will have a chance to taste this super ninjutsu. Of course, this is something. Others, who are more rational, just look at impure world reincarnation. This technique does not have so many restrictions. As long as it is used properly, you can have immortality. This is another great piece of information. And the spies from each village who had been sitting in the Tianji Tower for a long time imprinted all the contents on the 4 major lists at the first time. Some have already started to return to their villages. Bring back the information on the list. When Qixing saw this scene, he just smiled and did not stop him. Instead, he looked at Quan, who was busy in the kitchen, and walked in. At this time, Quan turned around and saw Qixing's face full of surprise. "Brother Xing, you are back." "Kindness. Brother Xing, when will Itachi come back?" "You girl, are you feeling like you're in love with spring?" "Huh, no, I'm just. Okay, I get it. It'll be soon. In a few months, he will be back after finishing his own affairs. You have to take the initiative then." "Kindness, thank you brother. Yo, you're such a sweet girl, but this matter hasn't been decided yet. Isn't there a brother helping me in the middle? Then I can still fail?" Hearing this, Qixing laughed. "Ha ha ha ha, that's right. An elder brother is like a father, and that boy Itachi can't escape your grasp." Hearing this, Quan's little face was already smiling. Qixing asked again. "By the way, Quan, where's the young couple?" "Oh, brother, that guy said he had met your requirements and left Tianji Tower 2 months ago. Said to complete the task assigned by you." "Well, that's right. Kimimaro really didn't disappoint me. But you little girl, it's time to improve your strength. Why are you only at the late stage of Chunin now?" Hearing this, Quan stuck out his tongue. "Brother Qixing, I don't like to practice, I prefer my current life." "Fine. Not forcing you." Having said this, Quan couldn't help but curiously asked, "Brother Qixing, what level of strength has you reached now?" "Me? My strength has also improved a lot in the past 2 years of experience, and it has reached a level that is almost beyond your comprehension." After saying this, Qixing couldn't help but look at his attribute panel. Host: Uchiha Qixing, advertisement age, 20 years old. Realm: Super Cage level, combat power, Super Mid Cage level to early fairy level. Talent: transform into 3 super sailor forms, which can increase all attributes up to 40 times. Bloodline development degree is 22%. Skills: Grandmaster's various attributes CA level ninjutsu. Dance air technique level 3. Heavenly fire crazy dragon, 8 wonderful skills, level 2 divine machine 100 refining, level 1 spirit containing general. 3 immortals return to 1 method, not available yet, swift wind. Infernal thrust, Ippon hand, etc. Eye abilities: Rinnegan, revolving heavenly eyes, Twin Kamui, distinguished heavenly gods. Revolving heaven god's eye. Summons a huge phantom god's eye, emitting purple light, which can be forced to pull any object that comes into contact with the purple light into the real space created by the god's eye. If a living creature enters, only when the person is unable to resist. This ability can only be used once per day. Items: various strange kit combinations from all over the world, with strange little objects. Points: 50,000 commonly used ninja tools, 7-star sword, broken mask, Valkyrie's soft armor. When he saw the damaged mask, Qixing felt a little depressed. The moment he saw the Valkyrie's soft armor, Qixing immediately hid it. "Damn, I almost let others know my secret," he said and smiled happily. And this soft armor is also a good thing. If it hadn't been for this soft armor, which had withstood Sihang's many attacks last time, I might have been seriously injured even if I didn't die. Thinking of these 7 stars, he fell into deep thought. In fact, it is planning the future growth path. At this time, a harmonious voice interrupted it. "Hello. Hey, brother Qixing. Why were you in a daze just now?" He also smiled very obscenely. "Did I? You have. Ahem, let's not talk about this anymore. Your Qixing brother has something to do, so he needs to leave first." As soon as he finished speaking, Qixing's figure returned to the 2nd floor again. As soon as he entered his room, he took out the broken monkey face mask. At this time, the monkey face mask has cracked, and the fastest way to repair it is to forge it again. However, Qixing's divine machine 100 refining level is only at level 2 at this time, and it is impossible to forge this kind of artifact. This is also the reason why Qixing is worried. Although there is another mask in his hand, it is obvious that that mask is not suitable for wearing in the earthly world. As he said that, Qixing took out another ghost face mask from the space. The mask in his hand kept flashing with light. Shira Ghost Face. A primary artifact. When worn, it can withstand an attack from a spirit body that exceeds its own energy by several times. It can also transform its own body into a spiritual body, and can even transform into an evil spirit body. The ghost face will continue to devour the ghost face while wearing it. When the energy of the person is exhausted, the transformation will be cancelled. 30% of the power is sealed. The face of the Great Sage, a mid-level artifact. When worn, it can withstand an elemental attack that exceeds several times its own energy. It can also transform into the appearance of anyone you have seen. During the time of wearing, the holy face will continue to devour the holder's body. Energy. When the energy is exhausted, the transformation will be cancelled and 50% of the power will be sealed. The mask is damaged and can only be used after repair. Seeing this, Qixing couldn't make up his mind for a moment, and at this moment the system prompt sounded. Open black lens bracket ding. If the host cannot be recast, the two masks can be fused, and the transformation ability will be retained after the fusion. And when merging, there is a 30% chance of being upgraded, a 30% chance of being downgraded, and a 30% chance of the level remaining unchanged. Close black lens bracket. Oh, this is simply a free gift. Chapter 96 Deluo Tianyan, everything. But seeing this, Qixing couldn't help but touch his chin with one hand, and then asked warily, how many points are integrated? Ding. 30,000 points. Close black lens bracket, isn't it so expensive? Ding. Host, you are merging artifacts. Do you understand artifacts? Do you think this is a fusion of Chinese cabbage? Close black lens bracket. Alas, the current mask is damaged and useless. After fusion, the transformation ability of the two masks can also be retained. Although it is more expensive, it is not bad. System. Merge. Open black lens bracket ding. The face of the Great Sage and the ghost face of Shira are merging. 10%, 30%, 60%, 90%. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations, host. The face of the Great Sage and the ghost face of Shira were successfully fused, and they were promoted to a higher level. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to host for obtaining the high-level artifact, Daluo Tianyan. It can be upgraded. Upgrading requires the consumption of materials or items of the same level. Daluo Tianyan can change in many ways. After wearing it, it can absorb an energy attack several times greater than itself once a day. It can also be transformed into any creature you have seen. The larger the size, the greater the consumption. It can also transform between the spirit body and the physical body, but please understand that this is just an illusion. Although it has its form, it has no spirit. Special ability. All things. After turning it on, you can let the other party see the person you want to see most in your heart. Please use host with caution. Close black lens bracket. Qixing was instantly excited when he saw this. A high-level artifact. There are few of them in the entire ninja world. Qixing said as he stroked the mask with both hands. The texture is soft to the touch, and the lines on the mask are rounded and seamless. Moreover, the mask no longer looks like a ghost face or a monkey face. To be more precise, it has no face at all, just looks kind. Involuntarily, Qixing put on the mask directly. The moment the mask touches your face, it fits perfectly. At this moment, the unhappiness in Qixing's heart was instantly wiped away. It's worth it. After expressing your inner emotions, Qixing looked at the lottery panel again. He had been on the road for the past 2 years, although he would occasionally draw prizes. But sometimes, because of busyness, I forget. On the lottery panel at this time, the ordinary and premium lottery draws have been renewed for 10 consecutive draws. The luxury draw shows the value too. Seeing this, Qixing no longer hesitated, and the system drew 10 rounds in a row. Ding. The ordinary lottery begins. Ding. Congratulations to host for getting a power bank, 2 lifts of hand-drained toilet paper. Anna ate half of the remaining lollipop, martial arts drawing the sword and cutting. 3 boxes of egg noodles, a bottle of salt soda. Ninjutsu telescope technique. Seeing this, Qixing was speechless for a while. It's worthy of being an ordinary lottery draw from all realms. Anything you can't think of can appear. These are not outrageous. I still remember that a few months ago, I even got G dried cow dung. I never thought that ordinary draws could surprise me. Then let's take a look at the premium draws. The system's top 10 draws in a row. Ding! The high-quality 10 consecutive draws have been started. Congratulations to the host for getting 3 boxes of birdie vodka, the 1,000 blades of the demonic sword. Wood-style Lianjujia, advertisement water-style the water dragon bites and explodes. Summon Bluestone 1, long-distance teleportation array. Pediatric cough syrup 1, really bright eye drops 1. Qixing's head was buzzing at this time. Why did my first reaction when I saw birdie vodka be, is it so high? Qixing, who didn't know why, touched his head and looked at the next item. The 1,000 blades of the demonic sword. This high-level spiritual weapon is very good. It is very rare to get such a high-level ninja tool in the high-quality lottery. Qixing was happy when he saw the ninjutsu of the Lianju family. Isn't this Yamato's 3-bedroom technique? It seems like there will be a good place to stay wherever you go next time. As for the long-distance teleportation array, this is a very practical item. It won't take 3 days to go back and forth to Tianshumen next time. At this time, Qixing looked back and his face began to darken. Summon Bluestone. This is a Bluestone that can summon Ultraman, but it is sealed at this time, and it is sealed and there is no way to unblock it, so what's the point of drawing it? What's the use? When the last item appeared in front of him, Qixing's eyes lit up. This thing may be a good choice for Itachi. As for the cough syrup, just leave it alone. I want to turn on the luxury carousel in the system. Open black lens bracket ding. The luxury carousel has been opened, and there are 5 items lying on the luxury carousel. And the long-lost, Ape Demon Rui stick, is among them. Next to it is a sword manual called 7-Star Sword Art and a strange fire stick. Below it is the Transcendence that appeared a long time ago. God-level items, divine causality, and suspected causal weapons cannot be completely suppressed by even the current secondary system. Qixing can feel that the appearance of this thing is not controlled by the system. The last grid was completely dark, but Qixing could feel that there were things in it, and there were many of them. After reading these 7 stars, start the lottery directly. As soon as the voice fell, the turntable began to rotate continuously. After stopping at a certain moment, the system prompt sounded. Ding. Congratulations to host for getting the Ape Demon Rui Stick 1. Ding. Congratulations to host for obtaining carbon ore. When he heard about the items he had obtained, Qixing's face turned darker than the charcoal ore in his hand. What's the use of this thing? Open black lens bracket ding. The total weight of this carbon mine is 30 tons. Isn't there no underground fire in host's Tianshuman? Don't these carbon mines just solve your urgent need? Close black lens bracket. Huh. This, indeed, is true. Carbon is combustible and very durable. This thing is also the best choice for refining weapons. Sure enough, anything you draw is useful. It really fulfills the old saying, existence is reasonable. When the lottery was over, I thought the lottery wheel would slowly recede. At this time, Qixing was playing with the monkey demon's wishful stick in his hand. But at this moment, when the luxury carousel was about to close, the weapon of divine causality emitted a faint blue light and began to vibrate crazily, as if it was about to escape the control of the lottery carousel. The next moment, a line of milky white light exploded on the turntable, instantly surrounding the entire turntable and disappearing without a trace. Qixing was stunned at this. I wanted to ask what was going on with the system, but in the end I held back. Because Qixing knows that even if he asks now, the system may not say that the system is now at a low level. He feels that he cannot perfectly control many things beyond his own. It seems that upgrading is also necessary. Thinking of this, Qixing looked at his points and said, it's less than 20,000, hey, I can only think about it. At this moment, the messaging device in Qixing's hand lit up, and there was news about Long Xuanji. Kindness, all generations of disciples have returned to Tianshuman and are selecting Chunin to prepare to go to San Shinobi Village in 3 days. Seeing this, Qixing smiled happily. Everyone has grown up, it's time for me to return to Tianshuman. After saying that, he took out an eye of the teleportation array and placed it in the hall on the 2nd floor. Then Qixing went directly to the kitchen, gave some items obtained from the lottery to Quan, and set foot on the road to Tiansho Gate. Road. Chapter 97 The effect of Deluo Tianyan. At this time, Qixing, who was flying in the sky, was thinking about what to do next, and kept stroking the monkey demon Rui stick in his hand, mainly because the stick was very moist. It's hard to put it down. But the top priority was to solve the matter of the teleportation array and the carbon ore. Looking at the remaining array he said, this is perfect for placing in the Tiansho Gate. Subsequently, Qixing activated the swiftness of the wind, and his body speed more than doubled again. The sleeping ape demon Rui Bang only woke up at this time. Full of question marks. Shouldn't I be sleeping in the ancestral land of the ape demon clan? How could I suddenly come here and be caressed by a big hand? Who the hell am I, the ape demon, so disgusting? At this time, the ape demon Rui stick, who wanted to change into a human form, kept struggling, but no matter what, he couldn't break free from the big hand of the person in front of him. Suo Sheng Rui opened the tip of his stick and opened one big eye. I really want to see which B********** D dared to imprison me. But the next moment, the monkey demon panicked. The person in front of him was the 3rd Hokage, Yuan Fei Hiruzen, that old figure, that familiar face. Old Yuan Fei, is that you? At this time, the monkey demon was in confusion, but a voice told him, it's impossible, absolutely impossible. Sarutobi is dead. I saw it with my own eyes. How could he appear here? But why does this guy even have the same breath as Sarutobi? Resemblance. At this time, the ape demon spoke, who the hell are you? Why are you pretending to be Sarutobi? You be ********D. After hearing this, Qixing smiled and said, so this is the person you want to see the most, Sarutobi Hiruzen? Ha ha ha. Your feelings are really deep. Who are you, who are you? But let the ape demon Rui stick keep roaring there. Qixing ignored the ape demon Rui stick for the next 3 days. 3 days passed by in a flash, and Qixing's figure was now standing in front of a big tree. The monkey demon Rui Bang had given up after 2 days of questioning and wanted to know the identity of this guy, because from the beginning to the end, he didn't get a single answer. This made the proud ape demon unsatisfied, and he became even more curious about Qixing. But when Qixing stopped, the ape demon was confused again. Why did this guy come to this wilderness? Does he want to attack me in a place like this? I think the monkey demon, is the strongest summoning beast in the ninja world, but now I am reduced to dying in this wilderness. I am not willing to accept it. But the ape demon never thought that he could die so easily because of his indestructible body. Just as the monkey demon was thinking wildly again, Qixing stretched his right hand forward and held a token in his hand. The next moment Qixing directly activated the token and hit a huge tree in front of him. The ape demon was confused when he saw this. Is this guy planning to commit suicide? Does he want to crash into this big tree? But just when the ape demon was confused, Qixing's body passed directly through the big tree and entered the heavenly paradise of Tianshumen. Long Xuanji sensed someone entering for the first time, but the aura was very strange, almost familiar. Thinking of something, Long Xuanji's figure disappeared on the roof of the building in an instant, and she arrived at the entrance of Tianshu Cave in just a few breaths. When she saw the appearance of the visitor, Long Xuanji was stunned for a moment, her eyes were red, and she cursed, "How could you be a B***ch? Damn it, you go to hell." As he spoke, a sword was slashed towards Qixing, but Qixing just raised his hand and swung out the ape demon Rui stick. The powerful and heavy blow directly knocked Long Xuanji away, and dust tens of meters away instantly flew up. This also attracted the attention of most people in Tianshu sect. What is the situation and which brother is fighting? Let's go and take a look. When Qixing heard Long Xuanji's words, he instantly understood that he had seen the person deep in his heart. After saying that, he turned off the unique ability of the Wanxiang mask, and the next moment, the 7-star mask kept squirming and changed back to its original appearance. Advertisement at this time, Long Xuanji walked out of the smoke, came back to her senses, and said in surprise. "Sir, why is it you, that B***ch? Okay Xuanji, you just saw yourself, the illusion you most wanted to see in your heart. That's the power of my mask. But to be honest, I'm very curious. In your memory, there is no picture of how you came to the ninja world or what happened before." Hearing this, Long Xuanji stared at Qixing with big eyes. "Sir, you can see through people's hearts." Qixing didn't hide it, a little bit. Hearing Qixing's admission, Long Xuanji was not too surprised at this time. After all, it is not surprising that the adult's strength is unpredictable and he has any strange abilities. At this time, Long Xuanji Kaido, "I don't know, everything is God's trick. A large part of my memory is missing. When I was awake at the last moment, I was floating in the outer space, and then I was pulled into the world of Pure Land by something. However, I was pulled into the Pure Land world not long after I stayed. God used great means to bring him back to the ninja world and resurrect him. This is what God told me. In fact, I don't know the real situation, let alone why he did that." "Oh, that means you didn't meet Shinigami." "Of course not. At that time, my soul was already close to collapse. It would be faster to see him alive than to die." "Alright, I got it. Go in there and say something." "Well, by the way, boss, the weapons in your hands are very powerful." "Oh, you mean the ape demon," he said, letting go of his right hand. The ape demon Rui stick instantly came out of his hands and transformed into a summoning beast. This shocked Long Xuanji and said, "Well, as expected, none of the guys following you are normal." And the ape demon roared, "Where have you brought me? Take a look for yourself and follow along." After hearing this, the ape demon's eyes wandered around, and he found that this place turned out to be a paradise. He couldn't help but sigh, what a good trick. Then he followed Qixing's footsteps. He knows that no matter what, he can't escape from this guy's grasp, so he simply doesn't run away to see what he wants to do. Qixing and Long Xuanji have already arrived in the attic. At this time, half of the senior management have been waiting for a long time. Before Long Xuanji could say anything, Qixing immediately took out the teleportation array's eye and the scroll that sealed the carbon ore. Long Xuanji's eyes lit up when she saw these two things. "Master Protector, this is the eye of the teleportation array. Where did you put the other end?" "Inside the Tianji Tower. Is it safe for the Protector to put it there?" "Of course safe. No one can enter the Tianji building without my permission, so you don't have to worry about the safety of this teleportation array." "Sir, what is this scroll?" "Carbon ore. What?" At this time, 3 voices sounded at the same time, and then Bao Gui and Peacock realized something was wrong and quickly apologized. "Master Protector. Sect Master, I'm sorry for losing my composure. I lost my composure." Chapter 98 New Chunin Examination. "Master Protector, you said this is carbon ore. We have been searching for this in the ninja world for a year, but we still haven't found any news about the ore. Where did you get it?" "Don't worry about that, leave it to Baogui and Peacock." "Yes, Lord Protector." These two things appeared at this time. The former left a way out for our Tianshumen, and the latter laid a solid foundation for our Tianshumen's future. "Lord Protector, you are so great. Okay, stop flattering me. How are the little guys Xuanji preparing?" "Sir, you would never have guessed this time. Shensho, Best Show, and Dusho. These 3 guys have become Jonin. Even I didn't expect them at all. They started late, and the newcomers came out on top. And there are at least 30 others who have reached the late stage of Chunin and are looking for opportunities to break through. The first generation of disciples of my Tianshu sect has risen." "Very good, are you determined to take the new Chunin exam this time?" "It's settled. In the end, we decided to let Tianshu, Shangshu and Chaoshu go. The strength of the 3 of them was infinitely close to that of Jonin. Originally, the 3 of them got together and prepared to take on some A-level missions, but I stopped them. The 3 boys have been constantly fighting with each other recently, without stopping for a moment, causing the little guys and several Jonin teachers to complain. It's best for you to take away. Oh, how good are the 3 of them in combat." Speaking of this, Long Xuanji became excited. There are two guys who have learned Sage Mode. One can summon a faceless tentacle monster, and the other can summon a pitch-black snake. Xiao Shu taught him my improved Imperial technique, Vulcan. The combat power is also there. Jonin mid-term. They can all compete with mid to late Jonin teachers. A few teachers were so frightened by them that they came to me every day to complain, but there was nothing I could do about it. After hearing this, Qixing laughed loudly. Good. Okay. Call the three of them to come over. Konoha's written examination will start at 10 o'clock today. My lord, is it still too late? Of course, isn't there a teleportation array? It just so happens that this time I can try out the effect of the teleportation array. Go and arrange it, it's the Lord Protector. Just when a few people were setting up the formation, the three little guys arrived in front of Qixing within a minute. I've met Teacher Qixing and the Sect Master. Okay, don't be formal. Konoha's written exam is about to start today, you have to get going now. Well, Lord Sect Master, you are so far away, is it still too late? You'll find out in a moment. Advertisement. At this time Qixing looked at the three little guys. Road. I think Han Shangsho, this kid, has already told you about my personality, so just be yourself. You three are about to turn 16 and you are all adults. The future of Tianshou sect is still entrusted to your hands, and those sect members still need your protection, so working hard to become stronger is what you need to do most. Yes, Teacher Qixing. We will not let you down. Okay, come with me. The monkey demon on the side was dumbfounded when he saw the disciples of Tianshuman. The little guys here are only stronger than the kids in Konoha. I really don't know what kind of monster they taught the students. Each one hides terrifying potential. If these little guys are in Konoha, Konoha will definitely become stronger and stronger. Watching Qixing and the other four walk out of the attic and into the door owner's office, the monkey demon struggled for 3 seconds before following Qixing's pace. Because at this time, the monkey demon also wanted to know what kind of teleportation array Qixing talked about. At this time, Qixing smiled and said in his heart, I knew you would come. At this time, the 4 masters and apprentices finally embarked on the road to the new Chunin exam. The 4 of them were standing on the teleportation array that was already blooming with light. Qixing looked at the hesitant monkey demon Rui Bang. How about it? Have you considered it? Only if you decide to follow me can you know my secret, otherwise you will only become the gatekeeper summoning beast of Tianshuman in the future. Although the ape demon was angry when he heard this, he knew in his heart that there were some super powerful auras here and he was really a weakling here. After all, Sarutobi was gone, and if he persisted, he might miss some opportunities, so he simply agreed to him. At this time, the monkey demon made up his mind and nodded heavily. Qixing, who suddenly stood on the teleportation array, threw out a scroll. The ape demon was shocked when he saw it. This is the oldest summoning beast contract scroll. How is it possible? This is something only those gods had thousands of years ago. How can you there will be, are you? Now that you've carved your true spirit, it's time for us to set off. Trust me, you won't regret following me. At this time, the ape demon had no way out, and he no longer hesitated. He let out a loud roar, and a drop of light blue soul liquid fell on the scroll. The ape demon's body shape changed rapidly, turning into a wishful stick with 2 light yellow ends and a dark middle. The next moment, the wish-fulfilling stick flew into Qixing's hand. At this time, Qixing finally got the system prompt. Ding! Congratulations to host, you have been recognized by the Rui Stick's weapon spirit and become the new owner of the mid-level artifact Rui Stick. Reward a Rui Stick promotion card, with a direct promotion success rate of 50%. If a ninja tool of the same level is added as a consumable during promotion, the success rate is 100%. Not bad. You are lucky, monkey. But the ape demon, who didn't know why, felt baffled when he heard this. Just as the 4 of them were getting ready, the teleportation array was also ready. The 3 elite Jonin formed seals at the same time, and the energy in their bodies was continuously transferred to the teleportation array. The next moment, the teleportation array was enveloped by a burst of clear light. The dazzling clear light flashed past, and the 4 people in the array suddenly disappeared without a trace. Qixing only felt that after the darkness, his eyes lit up, and his figure suddenly appeared in the Tianji Tower. The 3 little guys looked around and asked curiously, Teacher, where are you? Qixing smiled and said, This is a restaurant in Konoha village. Okay, the written test for the Chunin exam is about to start, you go. Remember not to embarrass Tianshuman, his teacher. With that said, the 3 of them ran downstairs in a hurry. There was no time to marvel at the size and grandeur of the Tianji Tower, so he walked straight into the Konoha examination room. The 2 people who invigilated the draw this time were none other than Konoha's 10,000 years goalkeepers, Azumo Kamizuki and Tongzi Tetsu. The 2 of them thought that no one would come again, but unexpectedly, 3 strange guys suddenly came. They saw the 3 of them wearing black and blue cloud robes, with a very obvious Shu character on their chests. The 3 of them took out the application form without any nonsense and drew lots. Entered their respective examination rooms. Chapter 99 Supermaster Ball. When the last person enters the examination room, the door is closed directly. The examination room was extremely quiet at this time, and countless people were listening to Shikamaru's examination rules. The rules are also very simple. 3 people in the same group are divided into 3 closed classrooms. The 3 people answer the questions together, and the total score cannot exceed 100 points. This is a test of your tacit understanding with your teammates. The content of this test is too simple for the 3 people from Tianshou clan. This is because of interoperability technique, a ninjutsu that can communicate wirelessly over short distances. It is a very common ninjutsu in itself, but very few people in the ninja world know similar ninjutsu. This is also the ability that Long Xuanji found in his memory. One of them, after being simply modified, became the basic ability of Tianshuman. Every Tiansho sect disciple will learn it in the first-year course. After the three of them made simple seals, the three of them started communicating as if they were wearing headsets. Xiao Shu and Shang Shu, you only need 30 points to answer the question? Tiansho, Europe. Clear. The behavior of the three people was seen by the genins in the three classrooms, and they started talking about it. What's going on? This guy can actually communicate with his companions. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Everyone looked at the three people in surprise, but how could the three people ignore the questions of the little kids around them and just answer the questions on their own, then closed their eyes and waited for the end of the exam? At this time, there were still 20 minutes before the end of the first question, and everyone began to show their special abilities. Neji thought of a way at this time, informed everyone, and then knocked on the wall 3 times. However, Sha Chen in the Sand Ninja Village was not convinced. He just couldn't stand Neji's pretense, so he hit the wall crazily, trying to disturb Neji. The plans were resolved one by Neji. At this time, everyone finally understood how they should choose. In a tense atmosphere, Examiner Shikamaru announced that the book was closed. Everyone thought it would end like this, but unexpectedly Shikamaru's voice sounded again. Everyone, please put the test papers on the table and start the second question now. Nani? Everyone still wanted to vent their emotions, but Shikamaru asked directly. If your team of 3 is exposed while performing a mission, in order to get rid of the pursuers, you must leave one person as a bait, and that person will definitely die. Who will you choose? And this question just hit Sakura's heart, because he has done this before, more than once, and he is familiar with this question. If Naruto were here, Naruto would definitely write himself, and Sakura would naturally write Naruto's name, but Sakura's teammates at this time are Ino and Choji. How could these two guys choose to sacrifice themselves? For a moment, little Sakura fell into hard thinking. When Tiansho and his 3 passionate young people heard this topic, they were all shocked. There must be no less of these guys. They're all brothers, so the 3 of them did not write anyone's name in the end. It was this kind of enthusiasm that allowed the 3 of them to successfully pass the written examination. The exam is over. Everyone who passed the exam was called to the playground. The location of the next exam is in the Demon Desert of Sand Shinobi Village. It takes 3 days to travel from Konoha to Sand Shinobi Village. The last 30 people who arrived were disqualified. After hearing these words, everyone was stunned for a few seconds and then all started, action. At the same time, Qixing, who is sitting in the Tianji building, is not idle either. The Tianji Pan has not been activated for a long time, and he still has 20,000 points left in his hand. With that said, he directly pressed the Heavenly Secret Disc with both hands. As the points were entered, the Heavenly Secret Disc began to rotate continuously. In just 2 breaths, strange memory fragments were poured into Qixing's brain. The next moment, Qixing finally understood the Pure Land and his actions in the ninja world. They actually sent 3 mid-6 pads level spirits to search for powerful energy bodies, and at the same time, they came to deal with me. Advertisement. Are you looking down on my 7 stars? It's just 3 6 pads levels. I want to deduce the source of the powerful energy they said about the system. After saying this, Qixing once again put his hands on the Tianji disc. When he received intermittent memory fragments again, the points began to flow crazily at a rate of 1000 points per minute. What's going on with the system? Open black lens bracket ding. Although the energy host mentioned is in the ninja world, it exists in a different space in the ninja world, so it consumes more points. Close black lens bracket. After hearing the news, Qixing gritted his teeth and insisted, this is definitely a great thing. And when 5,000 points were consumed, Qixing finally got the relevant information. 10 tails. It turned out to be 10 tails. The young 10 tails is the new seed of the divine tree. So, this is the hidden power of Otsutsuki Ikki, the second 10 tails in the ninja world. The first 10 tails was divided into 9-tailed beasts by Sage of 6 Paths, namely 1 tail to 9 tails. Ha ha ha, it turns out that Otsutsuki Kagaya, who is the same as Otsutsuki, brought 2 sacred tree seeds with him when he came to the ninja world from another world. These 2 old guys who have lived for thousands of years have really hidden things. This is something that I, 7 stars, am bound to get. As he spoke, Qixing moved his hands again, and the Tianji disc also rotated again. After spending 2,000 points in the next moment, Qixing's position was known to 10 tails. How is it possible near the Valley of the End? Did the system make a mistake? I've been there several times and I didn't feel any space fluctuations or the passage of chakra. How could 10 tails be sealed there? Ding. Because that space is a sealed space separated from the inside of Otsutsuki Ishiki's body, it will move with the passage of time, so no one can easily perceive it unless there is a specific energy detection device. Only in this way can we accurately locate the location in that space at a specific time. Close black lens bracket. After hearing this, Qixing was a little confused. He looked at the remaining 14,000 points and said, let's take a gamble on today's luxury draw and see if what we draw will have any influence on this action. Helped. If we really want to capture 10 tails, then Otsutsuki Ishiki will definitely go there. That guy's spatial ability is definitely stronger than mine. And the 3 mid-6 paths guys in Pure Land don't know what special means they have. It seems like it won't be so easy to get 10 tails this time. The system starts a luxury lottery. I want to bet on my luck. Ding. Host, your luck is also sluggish, and your face is darker than carbon ore. You must do this. Close black lens bracket. Stop talking nonsense and start. Ding. The luxury carousel has been turned on. This time Qixing closed his eyes without even looking at the carousel, and stood there waiting for the system prompts. 1 minute passed, 2 minutes passed, why hadn't he heard the system prompt? At this moment, Qixing opened his eyes and saw that the pointer on the turntable was still moving at a very fast speed. After 3 breaths, the pointer landed exactly on a red and yellow ball. This made Qixing a little confused. What is this? The next moment, Qixing received a system prompt. Ding. Congratulations to host, you got the Super Master Ball. Close black lens bracket chapter 100 Tianji formation on the 3rd floor of Tianji building. The introduction behind Master Ball reads, Super Master Ball. It uses the top space-time technology to create the best Pokeball, which can 100% capture any tailed beast or summoning beast. The disadvantage is that the capture cannot be interrupted, otherwise all previous efforts will be wasted. System prompt. If the captured beast has not surrendered, the chance of rioting will increase the next time it is released. However, when the tailed beast reaches a weak state, the capture time will be shorter and less likely to be interrupted. After being captured by the Master Ball, the probability of surrender is also higher. Really not bad. I was still worried about whether I could perfectly control 10 tails with only 1 Rinnegan, but now I feel better. Unexpectedly, a random luxury lottery would turn out a treasure like the Super Master Ball. Now, the 10 tails can hardly fly. Thinking of the wonderful thing, Qixing's lustful smile bloomed on his face. Then he looked left and right, looked around, and stuffed the Master Ball into the system space as if he was guilty. At this time, Qixing inadvertently caught a glimpse of a door that he had wanted to try a long time ago. I saw the dark door as dark as ever. The gap in the middle is difficult to spot unless you look closer. On a whim, Qixing's basic strength has also been upgraded to the mid-stage Super Shadow. The doors that could not be opened at the cage level before can now be opened at the mid-stage Super Shadow. Thinking of this, Qixing walked to the entrance of the 3rd floor of Tianji building, put his big hand on the door, and moved forward with force, and easily opened the door that he had longed for. With a face full of surprise and expectation, Qixing walked up to the 3rd floor. As soon as he entered the 3rd floor, he looked at the layout here and saw that in an attic of nearly 1,000 square meters, there was only one huge formation disk. At this time, the surroundings of the array were still shining with light. Qixing quickly asked the system. What is this system? Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the host for improving his strength and successfully entering the 3rd floor of the Tianji building. What is in front of the host is the Tianji array. As the name suggests, it can quickly teleport the host to any place he has been. Close black lens bracket. You can also make a mark and let others carry the mark. The host can also be teleported to the location of the mark through the Tianji array. Close black lens bracket. Seal. The host can put any item carrying space attributes into the Tianji array, and the Tianji array will assimilate it into a time and space imprint. The host only needs to place the imprint where it wants to go, and it can be instantaneous in the Tianji array. Teleport. What is the difference between this system and the Flying Thunder God technique? Open black lens bracket ding. There is an upper limit to the Flying Thunder God technique's teleportation distance. The upper limit of the Flying Thunder God's distance is the ninja's perception distance. If you can sense the Flying Thunder God mark, you can teleport there. If you can't sense it, you can't teleport it. Close black lens bracket. But the Tianji formation has no distance limit. As long as you have a mark, you can be teleported there instantly. Moreover, the mark also has a return function. You can return to the Tianji tower by crushing the mark. Of course, the further the distance, the more points will be consumed, so host please don't try it easily. Close black lens bracket. Qixing listened to these words, but the only thing he wanted at this time was how to create a mark. If there was no mark, Qixing would find it difficult to come back. Suddenly thinking of something, Qixing's eyes lit up, and he immediately took out 10 legendary kunai that he had refined by himself from his backpack. Then he imprinted the attributes of time and space that he understood into the kunai. This is actually the same as imprinting a spell on the kunai of Flying Thunder God, and Qixing is also trying this now. The first time I tried it, I was blown away by 7 stars in 3 minutes. Second handle, 5 minutes. The third handle is 10 minutes. Advertisement. It wasn't until the 9th handle was exploded by Qixing that Qixing's mentality collapsed. Damn it. Is this thing so G difficult? After all, Laozi is also a spiritual level craftsman. I still don't believe in evil. Looking at the last legendary kunai, Qixing became cruel and began to carve out the space-time technique again. Stroke one stroke at a time. Seriously, it reminds me of the scene when I was a child, trying to put together word stickers. Cough 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 cough. I digress. Perhaps Qixing's serious attitude moved God. After 10 minutes of carving, this kunai miraculously succeeded and truly became a kunai carrying the attributes of time and space. I saw that the kunai in my hand was disappearing and appearing, and the kunai disappeared in the air when I threw it. Then it appeared on the wall, and it was so magical. The ecstatic Qixing quickly picked up the kunai and placed it in the Tianji array. I saw that the kunai at this time was actually eroded by countless light points. The light points disappeared immediately after filling the kunai. The kunai seemed to be integrated into the Tianji array, as if this thing should have been placed there. Qixing put away the kunai and checked its properties. Mark. The sub-body of the Tianji formation. No matter how far away the sub-body is, it can be teleported from the main body of the Tianji formation. And by destroying the sub-body and shouting the word, return, you can instantly return to the Tianji Tower. If a person who is not recognized by Tianji Tower is forcibly transported through the space channel, he will be mercilessly expelled by Tianji Tower. Sure enough, the system had already thought of what Qixing thought of. Outsiders cannot use this mark to come to Tianji Tower. Really not bad. Look at the mark in your hand. Qixing once again took out 10 kunai, and after an hour of hard work, he finally obtained 3 marks. At this time, Qixing had already thought about how to take the future. The excitement showed on his face. Ha 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 ha, while laughing, Qixing activated the Tianji formation, and the whole person instantly appeared in the sky above the Valley of the End. Seeing the surrounding environment, Qixing was amazed. It's really nice. And at the same time, 10 kilometers away from the Valley of the End, 3 figures in black robes were looking for something in a valley, holding a strange compass in their hands. At this time one of them said, "Fat Tiger, haven't you been to the Yang realm before? Why can't you even find the way?" "Forget it, last time I came with that unlucky guy Leji, I thought I could make an appearance and ruin everything, but it turned out that I was totally ruined. I met a ruthless character at that time. Although that guy's strength was only in the early stage of Super Shadow, the most important thing is that guy is a descendant of Saiyans. If he can transform, I know that no one can transform easily." Character. Leji and I also used the Transcendental Person's token to preserve the true spirit. And this time I spent all my savings over the past hundreds of years to get this early 6-path spirit body. I hope I can recover some of my losses. You kid, just go to Versailles. Dabao and I have been together for almost 200 years, and we have only just changed to a 6-paths mid-level spirit body. You kid is not satisfied yet. Okay, you two, please stop beeping. Fathu, you better hurry up. It's delaying Lord Long's business, and you won't be able to finish your meal and walk around. Nu. As he spoke, Fat Tiger took a puff of thick smoke and blew it on the compass. At this time, the compass was shaking even more violently. Chapter 101. The second 10 tails, and on a 100-meter high tree, ripples appeared in the void. Found it. Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect that this town sky compass is really a treasure. Not only is it extremely capable of sealing off the town, it can even trace such hidden space nodes easily. Go up and have a look. I heard Master Long say that this space can move on its own. Do you have the air-suppressing talisman with you? Don't worry, Brother Dabao, it's definitely enough. After saying that, he took out 3 talismans, and the 3 of them flew up to the ripples in space. At this time, the 6 big hands formed seals at the same time, and the talismans in their hands lit up with blue light. Then the blue light in the hands of the 3 people escaped from the 6-paths silk thread. The silk thread quickly extended, and actually connected the 3 blue light talismans into a triangular cone. After 3 breaths, the cone gradually solidified. The 3 of them dragged the cone and pressed it forward into the void with force, and actually slammed the cone into the ripples of the void. At this time, in the hands of the 3 people, Yin attribute chakra was constantly poured into the blue light talisman, and there were strange scripts on the talisman that solidified the surrounding space. And the cone is slowly getting bigger. The 3 of us are happy. We're ready now. It's time to go in. Fat Tiger, you take the lead. Hearing this, Fat Tiger muttered, "Damn you 2 idiots, I'll see you later." But on the surface, Fat Tiger warned the 2 of them seriously. These 3 talismans can last up to 4 hours and will not be discovered by the owner of that space. Even if they are unsuccessful, they must come out, otherwise the space will be moved. At that time, we don't know where we were born, let alone where we are going out from, and we will probably die here. Even if we are lucky enough to survive, we will still have to shed our skin. I know, Master Long has told me to avoid fighting as much as possible. After saying that, the 3 of them jumped into the tapered talisman passage, and their figures disappeared instantly. And all this was clearly seen by Qixing hidden in the void. I didn't expect that the Transcendent would actually cooperate with this guy Shinigami. Is there something secret about 10 tails that I don't know about? Otherwise, how could it be alarmed? 2 guys who are beyond the immortal level, Kaishu. HMPH, no matter what, I am determined to win 10 tails 7 stars. After saying this, Qixing followed the 3 of them in a flash and sneaked into this mysterious space. As soon as he entered the space, he used Deluo Tianyan to instantly integrate with the surrounding environment. But soon, Qixing discovered the chakra energy here is extremely thin. It can be said that the existence of chakra is completely invisible. In order to explore the secrets of this space, Qixing directly opened the Rinnegan, and suddenly found that the newly formed chakra threads were floating towards the center of the entire space like wind, as if there was something attracting the threads. Looking at the land, there are all kinds of mountains, rivers, but it feels extremely desolate, and the endless dense jungle shows that this place is definitely a paradise. Qixing, who was moving forward rapidly, had already discovered the traces of the 3 people in front of him and followed them up. At this time, the three people have different thoughts, and they have not communicated much from the time they entered until now, even if it is to exchange tasks. No need to waste any words. At this time, the three of them were walking and looking for directions, and they saw the blue light on the compass in Fat Hu's hand light up. Seeing this, Fat Tiger was overjoyed and exhaled a breath of soul energy again. The three of them looked in the direction pointed by the compass pointer. The landscape seemed slightly different. The three of them were excited and rushed forward tirelessly. In less than 3 hours, the three of them, with their chests rising and falling slightly, finally passed through countless jungles and reached the endpoint of the compass pointer. Advertisement. When the three of them looked up and looked down again, there was a cliff less than 100 meters below. Under the cliff, in a large pit tens of thousands of meters long, there is a lake over 1,000 meters long, which is the convergence endpoint of all water flows. But the eyes of the three of them were all looking at the huge figure next to the lake, which was about the same size as the lake. The three of them saw a large pit that was several kilometers long, and there was a figure lying in it that almost filled the pit. The giant beast was full of beasts, and its 10 giant stinging tails drooped down in the lake. Fat Tiger said excitedly, "Is this 10 tails? Is the aura really powerful? If you can become Jinchuriki of 10 tails, then..." Dabao shouted coldly, "Do you want to die? It's best to give up this idea. This is what Master Long specifically wants. If you want to die, go ahead and try it." "Hey, brother Big Chicken, I just want to think about it. Just think about it and don't take it seriously. I don't have the guts to measure you." "Big Chicken, take out the formation plate of the Beidou Skylocking formation." "Okay, Brother Bao." As he said this, Daji took out an 8 trigrams shaped formation disc from his trouser pocket and threw it into the sky. At this time, 10 Tails, who was sleeping, seemed to have woken up. He suddenly woke up and looked up. There was a disc-shaped thing there, emitting a blue shimmer. The shimmer continued to spread, covering 10 Tails. When the moment the cover was formed, it began to shrink rapidly. 10 Tails is alert, roaring angrily, "Ouch!" The sound shook the sky. When Dabao saw 10 Tails' movements, he sneered. "Is this the energy source in Otsutsuki's one-handed hand? Hey, I didn't expect Master Long's prediction ability to be so powerful. After today, I'm afraid Otsutsuki will no longer be the only one in the ninja world. The existence that covers the sky." After saying this, the movements of his hands continued unabated. At the same time, Qixing, who was running forward rapidly, had already seen 10 Tails in front of him, trapped by a light blue light shield. Qixing's figure stopped a few kilometers away from the light shield, looking at the 10 Tails in front of him. "Everything," murmured in the mouth. "Even if 10 Tails is in the growth stage, they won't only have the peak strength of 6 paths, right? This shouldn't be the case." At this time, 10 Tails was struggling in the light mask, and the concentrated tailed beast bomb hit the blue light, and was instantly absorbed by the blue light mask, and was stored as new energy in the array disc above the head. Upon seeing this, 10 Tails knew that energy attacks could not break the blue light shield, and then 10 giant tails slammed into the blue light. The next second, the blue light trembled violently and was likely to be broken in a certain bombardment. When the three of them saw this, they no longer hid their clumsiness, and 3 boundary-suppressing talismans instantly hit the blue light formation. The next moment, 10 Tails struggled to hit the light mask, but could not shake it at all, and the light mask was still shrinking rapidly. "Call, finally I've stabilized. I thought I could save these 3 boundary-suppressing talismans, but I didn't expect that the strength of 10 Tails is much greater than the 3 of me. Big Chicken, Fat Tiger, hurry up and close the net to avoid a long night." As the 3 of them formed seals at the same time, streaks of blue light shot from the soles of the 3 to the formation disc suspended in the sky. However, how could 10 Tails be captured so easily by them? I saw the angry 10 Tails directly activate the second state, and his strength instantly reached the pseudo-immortal level from the late 6 paths stage. The 3 of them saw 10 Tails lying on the ground change from the crawling appearance in the previous stage to a thin form that could stand. The tail behind it turned into claws, and the head only had 1 eye, 1 ear and 1 mouth. Chapter 102 Long Awushin. At this time, 10 Tails was so terrifying. 10 big hands were blasting towards the blue light shield above their heads one after another, while the tailed beast bomb in their mouths was still condensing. The 3 of them had a bad premonition in their hearts. When the 100-meter tailed beast, the moment the bomb was condensed and formed, it directly hit the photomask with a loud bang. The photomask that had been motionless just now had cracks at this time. Most of the energy on the array disc was consumed instantly. When Dabao saw this, he yelled, "Hurry up and shrink the formation plate, hurry up, don't let that guy transform again." At this time, the 3 people were forming seals crazily. In the end, after the 3 people continued to transfer energy, the cracks in the blue light were slowly recovering. The 3 of them finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Fortunately, I'm stable. This beast can't escape now." However, the lucky 3 people still don't know that this is not 10 Tails' strongest state. If they knew, they would definitely regret doing this mission. At the same time, Sing, who was thousands of miles away, frowned. What happened? 10 Tails actually rioted at this time. My contract form 3 has not been completed yet, and the container has not grown yet, why now? But at this time, Sing had to put down what he was doing and go to that space to see the situation of 10 Tails. 10 Tails was not only one of his family's tasks, but also his most important source of strength. If left alone, he would feel uneasy. Looking at the space at this time, the three of them had just stabilized the blue light shield and had not been happy for a minute. Unexpectedly, Ten Tails became furious again, and the chakra energy in his body suddenly exploded, directly transforming into the third form. Ten Tails has changed from the scrawny appearance of the previous stage to become more muscular. At this time, it spits out a huge flower-shaped muzzle from its mouth and fires an extra-large-tailed beast bomb, enough to destroy heaven and earth. When the three of them saw this scene, they went even crazier and sent their own energy into the formation plate. However, after condensing for a few seconds, the tailed beast bomb in Ten Tails' mouth suddenly spat it out and hit the blue light shield. The three of them were shocked when they heard the sound of glass breaking, and then they ran away without looking back. But at this time, Ten Tails in the third form was furious. How could he let the instigator escape so easily? Ten Tails' 10 big hands fell from the sky and slapped the three of them. The three of them were not vegetarians. They cursed secretly and formed seals one after another. Then they pressed their 6 hands together, forming a cone-shaped light pillar above their heads. Ten Tails' big hand slapped the light pillar, and Ten Tails miraculously withstood it. Tails' angry blow. But before the three could be happy, Ten Tails' big feet stamped on the ground. Within tens of thousands of meters, natural disasters such as earthquakes, lightning strikes, tornadoes, and floods began to occur. Nanahoshi understood when he saw this. These three people in front of me will definitely die, because this is Ten Tails' inherent ninjutsu, and even Kurama will be afraid of it. Ten Tails will use countless chakra to interfere with natural energy and cause various natural disasters in one breath. The maximum effective range even exceeds 5 kilometers, and the destructive power goes without saying. Even the 7 stars at this time saw this scene. I can only sigh. Under such indiscriminate power, I am afraid that the early immortal level can only protect itself. Because to be able to interfere with the forces of nature, one must have immortal level strength and understand the true meaning of immortality. Only then can one interfere with the forces of nature. This is no longer something that humans can fight against. Advertisement. Although the 7 stars transformed into the third queen of the Super Saiyan, they have fairy level combat power, but they are not at that level after all, and cannot be compared with Ten Tails in its prime. At this time, looking at the status of the three people in front, they were already close to death. Daji actually pushed Dabao forward at this moment, blocked a lightning strike for himself, and then ran away crazily backwards, but at this time Dabao there was no despair or fear in his eyes. He seemed to be sure that he would die and didn't even try to resist. He just watched quietly as the lightning struck him. But Big Chicken had no sympathy at this time, nor did he look back. He was only concerned about saving his own life. But what he didn't notice was that Dabao, who was struck by lightning and fell to the ground, had no damage at all on his body, and was just twitching on the ground. At this time, Big Chicken, despite having 6 pads level strength, was as fragile as an ordinary person in front of the power of nature, and was directly involved in the violent tornado. The struggling Big Chicken knew that no one could help him at this time. He bit his silver teeth and took it out directly. He exchanged it for a magical jade talisman in Wenji City. After crushing the jade talisman fell out. A green light in the talisman directly enveloped the Big Chicken from head to toe. It was completely magical, and it was no longer disturbed by natural energy. After laughing 3 times, he rushed out of the tornado, joined in the direction of Fat Tiger in front. But Fat Tiger is a very clever guy. As early as when Ten Tails activated his power, he used a strange talisman to escape 10 kilometers away without hesitation. At this time, the sky and the earth were destroyed by natural energy for 3 minutes. At this time, the energy gradually subsided, and after Ten Tails' ability was activated, a black hole appeared in the sky beside him. Ten Tails raised his head and roared towards the sky, seeming to blame the people in the black hole for coming so slowly. Sehing walked out of the black hole at this time, glanced at the entire battlefield, and then looked at the corpse in front of him. He sneered and said, "Long Ao Wushan, I didn't expect that in the past 1,000 years, you would still be this virtuous and still like to pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger. But you, a powerful person like an immortal, are actually pretending to be dead here. Don't you think it's funny?" Hearing this, Qixing frowned slightly. I didn't realize that this person was committing suicide right away. But after hearing Sehang's words, Dabao, who was lying on the ground, stopped twitching, and then stood up like a normal person. The expression on his face was changing rapidly, and it was completely different from Dabao just now. If Big Chicken sees it, he will definitely recognize this person's identity. This is very similar to the Master Long they call him, and Big Chicken will definitely regret that he just asked this person to block the thunder for him. I saw Mr. Long, whose identity was revealed at this time, standing up. Blue light continued to overflow from his body, and his soul strength continued to grow stronger. From the early stage of 6 paths, to the late stage of 6 paths, and then again when you reach the pseudo-immortal level, you are just one step away from breaking through the shackles of the immortal level. At this time, the energy of the soul is almost overflowing from this body, and has even formed a pair of soul armor on this body. At this time, Master Long looked at Sehing with a smile. "Wedge of the Otsutsuki clan, which Otsutsuki clan are you? Forget it, don't tell me, I suddenly don't want to know. You are really a waste. You have been in the ninja world for thousands of years, but you haven't understood the laws of heaven in the ninja world. You haven't even completed reincarnation yet. Ha 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 ha, it really made me laugh to death." Chapter 103 Battle. Sehing was shocked when he heard this, but his face remained calm and he said, Long Ao Wushan, do you only want to fight with words? Do you really think you can easily take advantage of me just by the arrival of a separate soul? You are still as naive as you were 1,000 years ago? At this time, Long Ao Wushan was not surprised when he heard Sihang's words. It's just that the person who can call his name easily must be an old acquaintance, he said immediately. Since we are acquaintances, let me guess which member of the Otsutsuki clan you are. I witnessed the deaths of Jin Shiki and Urashiki with my own eyes. Even if they need a container to reincarnate, they will not be monks. This is the guy they hate the most. It's possible to achieve Taoshi, but it shouldn't happen so quickly. According to my calculations, that guy will have at least 20 years to go before he has a 30% chance of being reincarnated successfully. Kagaya is even more impossible. Based on his love for beauty, he would choose to kill all monks. Then there is only one possibility. Otsutsuki Ishiki, ha ha ha, it turns out to be you. You once had great glory. I heard that you were plotted to death by a woman. How come you haven't found a reincarnation container that can carry your body's power until now? You are really a pathetic person. Sihing, whose identity was exposed by Long Ao Wushan, frowned, snorted, and entered wedge form 1. HMPH, so what if it's me? Do you think you're still the legendary ninja who could fight 1 against 2? Now you are just a remnant soul in the Pure Land, just a dog of the Shinigami. You have been marked by the heavenly way of the Pure Land. Do you think you will be better off than me? At this time, it was Long Ao Wushan's turn to be surprised. Since you know about Shinigami but have not obtained information about Pure Land, it seems that your power has not developed very well in the 1,000 years since you have been absent. I have never even heard of the appearance of 3 transcendent beings in the Pure Land during this 1,000 years. You, what are you talking about? You are transcendent. You have gone through the path of transcendence. It's impossible. Wasn't your peak immortal level strength cut down by the golden style? How could you still improve it? Hearing this, Long Ao Wushan sneered. Stupid. Do you really think that the ninja world is as simple as you see? After saying this, Long Ao Wushan no longer wanted to answer his questions, so he ignored Sihing and just turned his head in the direction where Qixing was hiding. Have you been watching for a long time, kid? Aren't you ready to come out and meet me? Qixing wasn't too surprised when he heard this. After all, he didn't try too hard to hide his figure. The Long Ao Wushan in front of him is obviously the divided soul of a strong man. He has already reached the realm of pseudo-immortal, so his true strength is at least the peak of the immortal level, or even higher. This kind of existence is extremely powerful even in the Pure Land. At this time, Qixing no longer hesitated and walked out of the void. The energy in his body kept changing, making it impossible for people to discover Qixing's true identity at this time. Seeing this, Sihing said disdainfully, another one who only knows how to hide. Long Ao Wushan looked at Qixing with a smile. Little friend, that guy has the help of an immortal level tailed beast like 10 tails. How about the two of us join forces to take it down? As for how to divide the things, let's see. Who can live to the end with a smile? How about that? Advertisement, ha ha ha, just what I want. Long Ao Wushan laughed loudly at the same time and flew towards Sihing. Seeing Long Ao Wushan's actions, Qixing's blood boiled with excitement, and he followed closely. Sihing glanced at 10 tails and said, Old man, it's been a long time since we fought side by side, on. Although 10 tails has many questions in his mind at this time, now is not the time to ask questions. Sihing, who was running, looked at the two people in front of him and said coldly, Those who dare to attack me on my home court don't know whether to live or die. While speaking, he raised his hands, and countless black sticks rushed out from the ground, directly stringing the 7 stars and Dabao into gourds. However, both of them were strong men. How could they be killed so easily? The two figures who were hit instantly turned into smoke and dust. Their real bodies rushed towards Sihing from both sides. Only Qixing's hands were visible. Forming different seals, his left hand came close to his mouth and spit out countless fire spears. His right hand stretched forward, and a huge tornado suddenly appeared in the void. The wind assisted the fire. The two merged into one and crashed into Sihing, who was rushing forward. Sihing raised his hand again, and the wind and fire tornado was directly absorbed by it. Seeing this, Qixing slapped himself fiercely. Damn it, I completely forgot that this Pisai is a bottomless pit and can absorb any ninjutsu. And just after Sihing absorbed the wind and fire tornado, Long Ao Wushan's technique had been used, and the momentum was even more terrifying. He could see words in his mouth, his hands pushed forward, and then he shouted, Wan Ren Soul Killing Formation. As soon as he finished speaking, countless transparent blades appeared directly above Sihang's head in a radius of 100 meters. He rushed towards Sihing. Seeing this scene, Sihing was shocked. This is actually a soul skill, and Kui's absorption ability is not enough to fully absorb it. Then he clasped his big hands together and instantly switched places with 10 tails. At this moment, 10 tails was fascinated by the theater. He didn't expect that he would become an actor and be cut into pieces with 1,000 knives. A feeling of aggrievedness arose in his heart. Nah, I was shot even while I was lying down. At this time, thousands of soul blades stabbed 10 tails in the sky. 10 tails was in pain and fell to the ground, twisting his body wildly. It seemed like something was corroding his body from his back. At this time, 10 tails Heart Vice Admiral Sihing sent greetings to the whole family. As the huge body of 10 tails rolled, the ground also rumbled at this moment. Upon seeing this, Sihing directly activated Wedge Form 2, forming seals with his hands for the first time, and then a green light shot onto Ten Tails' back, and several thousands of half-meter deep knife holes were healed instantly. Ten Tails also stood up and roared towards Long Wushan as if he had never been harmed. 10-tailed beast cannons in his 10 big hands were thrown towards Long Wushan, and the one in Ten Tails' mouth was nearly 100 meters away. The tailed beast bomb also blurted out. Long Wushan didn't panic at all. He raised his right hand, his index and middle fingers were aligned, he chanted the Chunin formula in his mouth, pushed his right hand forward, and a light blue 100-meter-long hand was instantly formed, rushing towards the tailed beast bomb. The moment the two collided, a violent explosion occurred, but the tailed beast bomb in Ten Tails' mouth was too big. In just one breath, it broke through the blockage of the blue light hand and flew towards Long Wushan. At this time, Long Wushan sighed. It seems that the strength of the pseudo-immortal is not enough to capture you, so let you see the true strength of my split soul. As he spoke, the soul dye and soul energy scattered around his body suddenly shrank into his body. The next moment, Long Wushan's aura directly broke through the shackles of the pseudo-immortal and reached the immortal level. The 100-meter tailed beast bomb was 1 meter away from Long Wushan and could no longer move forward. Immediately, Long Wushan's soul thought wrapped up the tailed beast bomb, and he punched it flying 8,000 meters into the sky. He cancelled the soul thought, and then the tailed beast bomb exploded in the sky with a bang. Chapter 104 Blood Red-Tailed Beast Bomb. At this time, due to the explosion of the tailed beast bomb, a level 9 wind suddenly blew in the sky. Sihing was shocked when he saw this scene. This guy's separated soul body that came from across the realm has the ability to improve his realm. It's really extraordinary. Sure enough, every transcendent person possesses a great secret and also possesses great wisdom and perseverance. You can actually throw away the divine will given by heaven, thereby forcing your realm to reach the peak of immortal level, and use the clone to collect the divine will, while the main body steals the opportunity for divine breakthrough from the clone, and the main body is no longer favored by heaven, and at the same time will not be bound by the will of heaven, and will transcend this world from now on. However, the risk here is equal to the opportunity. If you are not careful, the clone will become a puppet of heaven, and even kill the main body instantly. In 10,000 years, only one person in 10,000 dares to take the path of transcendence. And those who succeed are even rarer. After all, no normal person would give up easily when faced with that terrifying temptation. Just when Sihing was shocked by all this, Long Wushan's figure ran directly towards Sihing. Long Wushan waved his two big hands and muttered the words, Soul Tide. At this time, blue rays of light, like seawater, carried Long Wushan and pressed towards Sihing. When Ten Tails saw this and was about to step forward to help, a strong figure suddenly appeared in front of him, spitting out terror. The fire directly blocked Ten Tails' way. Ten Tails shook his big head and looked at the ant in front of him. It turned out to be just an ant in the late stage of Super Shadow. Why can't any trash like me, Ten Tails, be ignored? Then he said in an angry voice, even a weak ant dares to block my way, die. Before he finished speaking, 10 giant hands transformed into terrifying giant tails fell from the sky. At this time, Qixing looked at the master ball in his hand and murmured, do you look down on me? That's fine. In order for you to follow me honestly in the future, I will let you see my strength. After saying that, Qixing's hair instantly turned golden, and his whole body was filled with golden aura. His combat power also directly increased from the late stage of Super Shadow to the middle stage of 6 paths. But less than a second later, it turned green again, and a shining green light illuminated the earth. It was surrounded by green light, and its combat power was once again increased to the pseudo-immortal level. When Long Wushan in the battle thought that this was the limit of Qixing, Qixing's hair once again turned as black as a black hole, and the dark magic thunder flickered around him, but all this happened only but it's done in 2 seconds. The two people in the battle finally separated after fighting several times with physical skills. At the same time, looking at the boy in front of him who was only in the late stage of chawing with surprised eyes, Long Wushan smiled and said, as expected, this boy is by no means simple. Sihing had already seen Qixing's strength. Although there is still some gap between him and him, this kid's combat power has improved a lot in this year. At this time, Sihing had only one thought in his mind, we must develop the third form of Wei as soon as possible, otherwise my battle damage will be too serious. While the two were thinking about the strength of the 7 stars, Ten Tails' 10 big hands finally fell. Qixing just raised his right hand lightly, and a black light suddenly appeared on his right fist, and then he swung it out violently with a series of ordinary punches. Ten Tails' 10 big hands were hit by Qixing's ordinary punches one after another. He was forced back forcefully. Advertisement this time, Ten Tails no longer looked down upon the little guy in front of him. With an angry roar, 3-tailed beast bombs flew towards Qixing from his big mouth. Qixing's forward body just waved his right fist to block the tailed beast bomb attack. At this time, Ten Tails already knew that this kid's physical body extremely powerful. The next second, barbs suddenly sprouted from the 10 giant tail arms, wood-style cutting technique, and the arms suddenly penetrated the ground. On the ground, thorns and vines grew rapidly in a radius of 10,000 meters, and they entangled towards the 7 stars. Qixing knew that if he was hit, he would be sucked into dried meat in an instant. But at the moment when the thorn was about to come into contact with Nanohoshi's body, it penetrated through his body. It was obvious that Nanohoshi had used Mangekyo's ability, Kamui Hollow. The 7-star gale was activated quickly, and its speed was tripled. It almost evaded Ten Tails' big hand. The falling sky strike successfully hit Ten Tails' eye, directly hitting one of the 6 Magatama. With a pop, one of them shattered in response, fragile. His eyes were damaged. Ten Tails roared crazily, and kept trying to hit Qixing, but Qixing activated Kamui, and his body disappeared instantly. But it's obvious that Qixing's thinking is too simple. Seeing this, Qixing immediately jumped up and rushed towards Ten Tails. He exerted force with his right leg and kicked Ten Tails directly in the face with a strong and heavy kick. The mountain-like body only trembled slightly for a few times, and then there was something unexpectedly on the ground. There was a loud explosion, and a huge crater 1,000 meters wide and 100 meters deep appeared at the feet of Ten Tails. Obviously, this must be the ability of Ten Tails' eyes. It actually dumped 90% of my kicking power onto the ground. This is a huge pervert. When the 7 stars opened Rinnegan, Ten Tails was frozen in place for a second. However, while Qixing was excited, 6 Magatama appeared and flickered in Ten Tails' eyes, and then circles of lines appeared. This turned out to be a sign of the appearance of the bloody 6 Magatama Rinnegan. Yeah, are this guy's eyes so awesome? What the hell? Saying that, Qixing once again used 100% of his power, jumped into the air and then fell rapidly, launching a sky-falling strike. At the same time, the moment Qixing's right eye opened again, ripples appeared, and Rinnegan activated, wanting to briefly control Ten Tails to achieve the plan of defeating him. However, at this time, Ten Tails' hands swatted at Qixing like flies. Although I have never heard of the power of Ten Tails' eye, the 6 Magatama Rinnegan is definitely more than 10 times stronger than the ordinary Rinnegan. Ten Tails, who thought he was controlled by his own illusion, woke up in less than a second. Although he knew in his heart that his Rinnegan was not as good as Ten Tails', it was automatically released so quickly. This also made Qixing a little disappointed. Bundle. What's even more terrifying is that after this Rinnegan is activated, he can use spatial attacks at any time. Looking at Ten Tails solemnly, Ten Tails in this state is definitely beyond the early stage of immortal level. But Ten Tails' hands struck the place where the 7 stars disappeared again. At this time, there was a loud bang, and the terrifying force of the wind actually shook the 7 stars out of the space while they were being transported in time and space. And as soon as he finished speaking, Ten Tails, who was still furious, and another form of tailed beast bomb, was condensing in his mouth. FK. Blood red tailed beast bomb, holy shit, I've never heard of that ability. After saying this, Qixing spat out a mouthful of blood, turned on Kamui, and disappeared again. By the time Ten Tails reacted, Qixing had already appeared 1,000 meters in front of Ten Tails. Chapter 105. Let's see if Lousy doesn't beat the shit out of you today. At this time Qixing frowned. What kind of ability does the system have? Open black lens bracket ding. Please host avoid. This is the ability of Ten Tails after opening its eyes. Reincarnation tailed beast bomb. This is the power of law that only the peak immortal level can access. Close black lens bracket. Ten Tails relied on the power left in the eye by the person who gave him this eye to use this ability in advance. Although the side effects were severe, it was clear that Ten Tails wanted to fight for his life. It is suggested that the host should not let him send out this tailed beast bomb, otherwise there will be no life within a radius of 10 kilometers. Even if this weak space barrier is broken, you will most likely end up wandering in the starry sky. Of course, if you are willing to waste a mark, just pretend I didn't say anything. Close black lens bracket. Depend on. Seal. How difficult is that thing? You can only refine 3 handles at most a day, and it depends on luck. That thing can't be consumed at will. System. Just tell me how I can stop him from releasing the tailed beast bomb. Ding. Qixing has an artifact called a coffin. Can hold 10 tails and digest this samsara tailed beast bomb. System. How stupid do you think he is to give me that baby? Ding. You can only use the master ball that host has just obtained. Of course, if it is interrupted midway, the collection will fail and the master ball will disappear. In this state, the success rate of collection is only 50%. Close black lens bracket. That's like you didn't say it. Okay. Hearing this, Qixing also understood the seriousness of the situation. Then he looked at Qixing and shouted, Qixing, you old fool, 10 tails wants to destroy this space. Depend on. You don't care. Qixing, who was having a fierce fight with Long Awushin at this time, looked full of disdain when he heard the sound. This space is mine. If it is destroyed, it will be destroyed. You kid is scared. Damn, Lousy is so scared. Grass. System, I know you have other ways, just tell me directly. Don't be afraid that I don't have points, I'm very rich. Ding. Sure enough, the only person who knows the system best is the host. Host can use Revolving Heaven's Eye to absorb a tailed beast bomb into the black and white space. Close black lens bracket. Damn it. Do you want to watch me being sucked dry? This kind of terrifying attack, if I suck it in, it will destroy my little world in an instant. Ding. Host will not be destroyed, just 50% destroyed. Close black lens bracket. Damn it, 50%. Why don't you just wash me and FK me like an adult? You just want me to die so much, wackow. Ding. Host can use points instead of chi to repair the black and white space without using the chi in his own body. Close black lens bracket. FK. Why didn't you tell me earlier? You made me worry. Ding. If the host points are not enough, the chi in the host's body will still be absorbed to repair the black and white space. Close black lens bracket. I will die if I die. At the same time as he finished speaking, the bloody-tailed beast bomb, which was more than 200 meters away, was already close to the 7-star 100-meter. Even Sing and Long Wushan, who were currently in a fierce battle, stopped fighting when they saw this. The two of them knew in their hearts and knew the power of this attack. They were ready to open their own spaces and escape. However, the next moment they cancelled the space door one after another. He stared blankly at Qixing's movements. Advertisement. I saw a giant Manos Grande over a kilometer above Qixing's head. The shadow god's eyes opened. Purple light filled the air, and the tailed beast bomb penetrated from the purple light in an instant. It miraculously disappeared, and the two strong men were dumbfounded. And that violent tailed beast bomb exploded directly after entering the black and white space of 7 stars. The terrifying red light quickly swept through the black and white space. In just a blink of an eye, the red light spread all over the black and white space. With the red light explosion as the center, dozens of kilometers in radius were instantly vaporized. A large pit of nearly 10,000 meters appeared in the black and white space. After absorbing the blood-colored samsara-tailed beast bomb, the 7 stars from the outer world spit out a mouthful of blood. Then I cursed loudly and said, "System, you didn't say you would vomit blood." Ding. Host, you feel that the space related to your life is seriously damaged. Will you remain unscathed? Close black lens bracket. Brother, you should have told me earlier. I'm still coughing up blood. Poof. Ding. The host's space is damaged. Do you need to spend points to repair it? Close black lens bracket. Yes. Ding. The space is being repaired. Ding. 50%, 40%, 30%, 20%. Ding. Repair successful. 5,000 points will be deducted for this repair space. Close black lens bracket. Me. Poof. Another mouthful of old blood spurted out for several meters. How much was deducted? Damn it. 5,000. After saying this, Qixing's eyes looked at 10 tails with green light. It's all because of you. But such a blow only made his body tremble slightly. I saw Qixing punching out again, hitting the blue steam on his right fist, performing a concentrated super speed front fist attack. 2 attacks, 2 blue tiger shapes, directly hitting 10 tails. I saw the great Buddha Susanoo first compressing the air, his chest instantly swelled, and then spread out in one breath. The shape was like a tiger, and it was powerful. The spread shockwave shocked Long Wushan and Sing, who were fighting several kilometers away. The two figures became further and further apart. This is my chance, he said. Qixing's body clapped his hands, and 2 identical golden Buddha Susanoos appeared around him. The 3 big Susanas stretched out his left fist and struck with ordinary punches continuously. The frontal hit was still in the weak stage. 10 tails. Bang, bang. 2 explosions. 10 tails was pushed back hundreds of meters this time. The shell-like object on his body actually had cracks, and he almost fell over as his body shook. Only 3 giant figures were seen, performing a super-speed continuous taijutsu attack. This attack was Urarenka's strongest form, and it was performed in the Super Saiyan 3 state, but 10 tails couldn't sit still and wait for death even though he was weak. Qixing's body, which was over 300 meters tall, was seen flying towards 10 tails. The 7-star sword in his hand, which was over 100 meters tall, slashed down head-on with a cold light. 10 tails was not used to Qixing, and the two guys collided with each other again. 3 terrifying thunder dragons descended from the sky. Qixing had no time to use his ninjutsu, and saw one of the clones blocking 3 thunder dragons with his body. The moment he was hit, the clone Susanoo disappeared into thin air. 10 tails was used again, and the heaven and earth changed. The earth trembled. In front of 10 tails at this time, a 1,000-meter-high mountain rose from the ground, and 3 figures of 7 stars simultaneously used the ultimate lotus flower to directly kick the 1,000-meter-high mountain in half. Damn it. Let's see if Lousy doesn't beat the shit out of you today. The 7-star sword slashed at 10 tails' body, leaving thousands of white marks, while 10 tails' giant tail was covered with thorns and whipped Susanoo crazily. The 2 giant figures began to fight hand to hand. The next moment 10 tails' attack struck again before Qixing could react, and the heaven and earth changed suddenly. Thunder struck. At this time, countless blue steam was generated around the 7 stars' body, wrapping it. But obviously, the back force of 10 tails is somewhat insufficient, which is obviously due to the forbidden technique just used. The strength and speed are much weaker than before. Qixing understood that this guy was thick-skinned, so he directly used Ultra Renge in Super Saiyan 3 state. After saying that, the 7 stars directly opened Susanoo Buddha and the 8 inner gates. At this moment, the 7 stars were already in their strongest state ever. When Qixing saw this, he immediately used the secret of 8 inner gates, Day Tiger. Chapter 106. The decision is yours. Go ahead, Master Ball. After stabilizing his body, 10 tails shook his huge head, looked at the 7 stars in front of him and roared angrily. The huge soles of its feet suddenly hit the ground, and countless spikes of earth and stone rose up from the ground for several kilometers. 7 stars instantly flew into the sky, and 10 tails seized this precious opportunity. The tailed beast bomb was like a machine gun, rushing towards Qixing crazily. At this moment, Qixing became the target of 10 tails. And Qixing, who had just jumped up, had no time to dodge. Looking at 10 tails on the ground, the overwhelming tailed beast bombs in the giant mouth are still being launched. At this time, the last clone of Qixing stood in front, and his body began to expand. Countless tailed beast bombs hit the clone Susan and exploded directly. The clone took most of the damage for Qixing, and after enduring more than 10 tailed beast bombs after that, the clone also disappeared without a trace. At the same time, the main body Susan also suffered varying degrees of damage in this tailed beast bomb attack. After rolling dozens of times, he fell smoothly to the ground. Looking ahead, 10 tails shouted without hesitation, Taijutsu, Qixing. I saw Qixing's blood burning crazily in the body, and the blue steam all over the body was instantly covered by the red steam produced. At this time, both fists hit the air to produce more powerful air cannons, and the speed continued to increase from 1 to 5. At only 1 speed with 1 punch, green blood spurted out of one of 10 tails' giant tails. And the next 2, 3, and 4 smashed the 2 giant tails of 10 tails into pieces. 10 tails also tried to counterattack, but under the power of Super Saiyan 3, Qixing's attack actually directly shattered the tailed beast bomb. When the 5th speed fist was blasted, a terrifying airwave swept across 10 miles. 10 tails stepped on the ground with his legs, and countless rocks rose up in front of him, but it had no effect. The wind of the fist directly penetrated all obstacles and hit the target. The last defense of 10 tails was the 10 giant tails coming together to form a powerful shield. When the 5th speed air cannon bombarded the giant shield formed by 10 giant tails, clicking and creaking sounds continued to be heard. The next moment, 10 tails was wailing, frantically calling Qixing to come to help. At this time, Qixing frowned. He had never seen 10 tails wailing like this before, but at this time, he was restrained by Long Awushin and couldn't get away at all. And when 10 tails retracted its giant shield, 3 of its tails were pierced. Only then did Qixing realize that 10 tails was starting to show signs of fatigue. After all, it was still in its infancy and there was obviously insufficient room for growth. But how could Qixing give him a chance? At this time, 10 tails was in the biggest crisis in history. At this moment, Qixing was being pressed to the ground and rubbed crazily. The huge body continued to draw tens of meters of deep pits on the ground. Finally, it was elbowed by the giant Buddha and was embedded in the earth. Qixing once again performed a series of ordinary punches, leaving countless fist shadows around 10 tails. At this time, 10 tails felt extremely aggrieved. After all, he had never been bullied like this before, and his roars turned into whines. Seeing 10 tails crashing to the ground and moaning, Qixing, standing on the broken mountain, was not prepared to give 10 tails a chance to breathe. He clapped his hands, opened Rinnegan, and activated Tengai Shinsei. 2 meteorites measuring thousands of meters hit 10 tails one after another, who was unable to fight back. 10 tails made a final counterattack. It was lying on its back in the huge pit, and a black spear of several hundred meters condensed in its mouth. The spear body was dark, but it revealed the pressure of swallowing everything. Sure enough, the moment the black spear was shot out, the space was distorted. The first meteorite was directly absorbed by the black spear, and the second meteorite was more than twice as big as the first one, and actually crashed the black spear into the earth. At the critical moment, 10 tails detonated the black spear, and the horrific explosion occurred less than a kilometer away from 10 tails. After the explosion, the black spear formed a black hole and absorbed 90% of the meteorite fragments. Only a few scattered stones that were hundreds of meters long fell on 10 tails. At this time, green blood spurted out for tens of meters from 10 tails' huge mouth, and the wails became weaker and weaker. At this time, Qixing was also so tired that his breathing started to pant. He looked at the Master Ball in his hand and no longer hesitated. "I've decided to use you. Go ahead, Master Ball." As he spoke, the Master Ball he threw hit the meteorite in a perfect parabola. Then the Master Ball opened and a yellow light shone on 10 tails, quickly covering 10 tails' body. In just 3 breaths, 10 tails was finally successfully collected by the Master Ball. Looking at the Master Ball suspended in the air, Qixing was excited to hold it. The excited expression on his face was like holding the whole world. Advertisement. In the moment 10 tails disappeared, Qixing's eyes widened. How is it possible? 10 tails disappeared. Why disappear? Was it sealed, or? During the battle, Long Awushin saw Qixing distracted and said, "Good opportunity." He struck the soul-killing sword and directly killed the distracted Qixing. Qixing was caught off guard and was hit, flying hundreds of meters upside down. There were no wounds on his body, but a sword mark appeared on his soul. "Assholes, you 2 bastards, you dare to disrupt my plan, you will die, you will die." After saying this, Qixing slapped his abdomen fiercely. With such an action, countless disasters occurred in the entire space at this moment. The earth rolled crazily, the mountains, rivers and woods disappeared instantly, and the sky also lost its color. Open black lens bracket ding. Host, Otsutsuki has detonated this space. Please leave host immediately. Close black lens bracket. Damn. Is this old immortal guy so cruel? Where is the system exit? Call. Fat Tiger suddenly felt a cold light behind his back. He turned around and saw Qixing holding a golden kunai and looking at him with a lewd expression. Grass. This space has been developed for hundreds of years, and it is destroyed at the drop of a hat. At this time, Fat Tiger shivered all over and stepped into it with the other foot. When Fat Tiger opened his eyes again, There was a golden kunai stuck on his waist, and at this time, Fat Tiger's body had begun to decay. Just when Qixing was about to leave, he caught a glimpse of Fat Tiger several kilometers away from the corner of his eye. The guy had opened a light door and stepped into it with one foot. Snort, oh shit. I finally left that dangerous world. There were many people who wanted to kill me, but my fate was up to me. Sooner or later, I, Fat Tiger, will trample all of you under my feet. The exit has been destroyed by Qixing, and host can only use the mark to leave. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ding. Qixing didn't think too much, and a golden light was suddenly thrown out of his right hand. At the moment when Fat Tiger's light gate was about to disappear, kunai followed Fat Tiger and left this world. As he said that, Qixing retreated sharply, taking out a golden kunai that flickered in and out, and prepared to crush it. After saying this, he immediately looked at the rotten body and Fat Tiger's soul, which was painfully separated from the body. Damn it, I have to spend money to buy another body. The moment the soul left the body, Fat Tiger took a big breath of the soul energy here. His whole body was shaking and he was full of energy. Obviously this wasn't the first time he had done this. Chapter 107 The three little ones from Tianshou clan are in trouble. At this time, Fat Tiger's spirit body looked at the golden kunai that flickered on the decaying body. With a lustful smile on his face. Hey, you can tell it's a treasure just by looking at it. Damn, those big guys are really tycoons, they use this kind of treasure to kill people. And I just gave it up, ha 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 ha. This didn't make me any better in the end, stupid guy. That guy would never have imagined that after coming to the Pure Land, even if this physical body dies, I can still survive as a soul. At the same time, Qixing also got rid of Long Wushan's pursuit, opened the black hole, and was about to leave this small world that was about to self-destruct. I looked back at the small world that was dying and couldn't help but sigh. Hey, hundreds of years have grown from the inner world to the small world, and it has been wasted like this. Although it's a pity, it's worth it to kill that guy. But the most fortunate thing is that Cowder is not here, otherwise it would be extremely dangerous to meet these two people. Maybe by then, the secret of Cowder's body will be exposed. After saying this, Qixing stepped into the black hole and disappeared. When Qixing's body reappeared, he was already standing in a steel city tens of thousands of kilometers away. He was hurriedly heading towards a secret room, still muttering. You are an innocent boy who thought you could ban 10 tails so easily. At the same time, Long Wushan took a deep look in the direction of Qixing and sighed. I hope you are alive, interesting little guy. After saying that, his body shape immediately faded, and then turned into a point of light and disappeared. At this moment, Qixing also took out another golden kunai at the moment when the small world was about to explode, and crushed it with his teeth. A golden light flashed, and the figure instantly appeared on the third floor of Tianji Tower. There is no time to rejoice, he took out the master ball and checked it directly. Target, 10 tails, state, infancy, weakness, age, 1200 years old. Realm, late 6 paths. Combat power, state 1, has 10 tails and 1 eye. It is a super creature with the strongest chakra. The 9 existing tailed beasts are all split from the chakra of the first 10 tails. This is the second 10 tails. In this state, 10 tails can exert its combat power at the peak of 6 paths. State 2. 10 tails has changed from the crawling appearance in the previous stage to a thin appearance that can stand up. The 10 tails behind it have become claws, and the head has only 1 eye, 1 ear and 1 mouth. At this time, the combat power has reached the pseudo-immortal level. State 3. 10 tails has grown from a skinny appearance in the previous stage to a strong one, with his whole body as if inflated, expanding more than 10 times. It can spit out a huge flower-shaped muzzle from its mouth and fire an extremely large-tailed beast bomb. In this state, 10 tails power increases dramatically. The combat power directly reaches the early stage of the true fairy level, and the Bloody 6 Magatama Rinnegan can be activated briefly. Advertisement food, all kinds of huge energy bodies. Loyalty, 30. It is being assimilated by the Master Ball, and its loyalty continues to increase. When the loyalty exceeds 60, it can be conquered. Qixing was excited when he saw this, because at this time, when the loyalty is 30, it will increase a little every 3 days, and when it is 40, it will increase a little every 4 days, and so on. As expected, Master Ball is Master Ball, it lives up to its name. However, just as Qixing was excited, an unyielding roar erupted from the Master Ball. At this time, the Master Ball turned into a yellow light and suspended in the sky. The yellow ball of light kept trembling, as if something was about to break out of its shell, but it only trembled for a moment before the 10 tails inside was suppressed by the power of the Master Ball and gradually stopped. As for Otsutsuki Ashita, who was thousands of miles away, his hands were rapidly changing hand seals, and under his feet was a huge summoning jutsu. I saw Otsutsuki slam his hands to the ground in one move, and the technique covered a kilometer radius. At the same time that the summoning technique was activated, the huge chakra energy in Magnet's body poured crazily into the huge technique. At this time, the technique suddenly lit up with a burst of yellow light, as if it was pulling something down. But until the chakra energy in the magnetic string was exhausted, 10 tails could not wait for it to arrive. At this time, Qixing held the Master Ball again, and the cold touch made people feel relaxed and happy. A smile that showed that he had a winning chance overflowed from the corner of his mouth. Brother Qixing, what are you doing? By the way, Quan. He murmured in his mouth, In a short time, you will completely become mine, he. Oh. I heard from diners that this time a force called Tianshuman cultivated very strong newcomers. All the members of the team, all under 15 years old, actually have the fighting power of Jonin. This news really shocked Ninja Boundary. Hearing this, Qixing took out the token, and the names of the 3 little guys were on it, and it disappeared, indicating that the 3 of them were fine. Brother Qixing, they have been leaving for 4 days. Tianshuman has also grown from a small reputation in the beginning to a huge reputation now. This time Magixian was confused. But there are people who dared to take action against our Tiansho clan. They are really looking for death. How was the Chunin exam going from Konoha? Qixing, who was sitting in the Tien restaurant, crossed his legs and looked at the ball of light that was constantly vibrating and then stopped after a moment with an indifferent expression, because he knew that this was definitely the last resort of magnetic string, using the power of his contract, forcefully summoning 10 tails. Unfortunately, it is not worth mentioning in front of the master ball and the system. But according to the diners, there are reports from within the competition that the little guys were in trouble yesterday. It seems they have provoked someone they shouldn't and are being hunted down. What kind of seal is this? Even my Otsutsuki clan's strongest heaven-reaching technique can attract 10 tails. UB*********D. Next time I see you, I will definitely kill you with my own hands and take back the seeds. The little girl Quan walked up from downstairs. As soon as she got upstairs, she saw Qixing smiling lustfully at a ball. Quan shuddered all over at this time and asked with a confused look. Qixing came back to his senses, looked at the confused Quan awkwardly, and said, "It's okay, I'm just happy." Just as Qixing laughed proudly, the door to the second floor was pushed open. Chapter 108 Sister Yuno. After saying this, Qixing flashed and went directly to the 3rd floor of the Tianji building and stood in the Tianji formation. The little girl Quan was confused after hearing this. After all, he still doesn't know that Tianshuman was founded by the Qixing brother in front of him. But then he seemed to think of something, and his face changed from confused just now to thoughtful now, and then full of shock. He opened his small mouth and said in disbelief, "Could it be that that force was founded by you, Brother Qixing? It can't be such a coincidence, right?" However, when she looked back at Qixing, Qixing was nowhere to be seen. Now if she wanted to find Qixing to ask about the situation, she probably didn't know how long she would have to wait. After all, Qixing was too mysterious in her eyes. I can only sigh and say, I must ask clearly next time. At this time, Qixing learned through the system that it only took 300 points to teleport from Konoha village to San Shinobi village, so he chose to teleport without hesitation. In just a blink of an eye, Qixing was teleported to San Shinobi village, the demonic desert, above. This speed is simply not too fast. At this time, Qixing stood in the void, looking down, looking at the figures rushing forward in the demonic desert, which were a little blurry. Then he opened the Eternal Mangekyo directly, and his vision became clear, and he could see the situation below clearly with just one glance. At the feet of Nanahoshi, Hinata, Shino and Kiba are discussing a plan on how to obtain the Book of Heaven. Not far in front of the 3 of them, the Kusanagi team of the Dragon of the Wooden Sword was worrying. They found many scrolls. Unfortunately, these were all books from the sky. It was useless to have so many of them. Fatty Brahmi and Muya, the 2 of them, were also very anxious. But suddenly the Dragon of the Wooden Sword said loudly, "I have a hunch that the Book of Earth will appear soon." Just when Pangpong and Muya thought the second disease of Wooden Sword Dragon was about to break out, they actually heard the voices of Shino and Kiba. At this time, Kiba wants Hinata to use the Byakugan to search for clues to the Book of Earth. The 3 Kusagakure and Wooden Blade Dragons were encircling Hinata, Shino, and Kiba. "Just listen to the 3 people. I heard everything you said. Hey, we want your scroll." Hearing this, Ya and the other 3 were not surprised but overjoyed. "I knew there would be some bad guys coming to snatch the scroll in our hands. See, what I said is right. It's not in vain for the 3 of us to go on our way." While acting loudly, someone finally took the bait. After hearing this, Kusakaku's 3-man team was obviously stunned for a few seconds. At this time, after a period of silence, the 6 people fought together without any nonsense. They saw Bu Lemi using the sword hidden in his flesh, and countless kunai flew out from his armpits, crotch, and breasts. Hinata and the 3 of them evaded, and the battle group was immediately separated. At this time, Ryukazemi of the Wooden Sword was facing each other, while Muya and Shino fought together, and Hinata and Akamaru resisted Fat Brahmi's flesh bullet kunai. At this time, Akamaru saw Fatty cast a kunai and found an opportunity to hit Fatty, but was bounced away by his fat belly. Hinata knew that with a dog, he could not cause any harm to Fatty, and then switched opponents with teeth. At this time, Brahmi used physical skills and collided with human bullets, but Ya was easily dodged. However, Brahma's belly chariot followed closely behind, and Ya and the dog were directly knocked away. Taking advantage of this gap, Ya formed a seal with both hands and used the orc clone. The 2 Ya rushed directly towards Pang Pang and beat Pang Pang's chest rapidly with both fists. I saw that the fat chest was as elastic as a sponge, and the small fists of the teeth could not shake it at all. Since this trick didn't work, Yedo Ya appeared again, but it was still of no use. At this time Ya and Akamaru were ready to attack Pangpong. Advertisement. Seeing Qixing here, he smiled and said, "These 2 guys are not afraid of biting out a mouthful of oil. This fat man is covered in fat, so there may be something wrong with his mouth." But the lower teeth couldn't care so much. When the teeth opened their mouths, they bit him. Pangpong also used a special skill. a fat hula hoop, and the fat on his belly kept spinning. But even so, Kiba and Akamaru still have to talk. But they ignored Pangpang's wit. At this critical moment, Pangpong discovered the Book of Earth in Ya's arms, and immediately winked at his companions. They saw that Ya, who was still in the air, was actually pulled out of the earth by Wu Wen. Grabbing the ankle, Feng Jian slashed Kiba's clothes and got the Book of Earth. Ha ha ha, you fools have been fooled. The three of them quickly retreated after succeeding. When Ya heard this, he immediately rushed towards the three of them. At this time, Fatty Bu Matria's face changed, and he was accumulating something in his mouth. The answer was revealed in the next moment. He spit out a purple ball with saliva from his mouth. Ninjutsu, 1000-year-old purple phlegm. The next second, the purple old phlegm exploded as it approached the three of them. A burst of purple smoke filled the air and instantly drowned the three of them. In the center of the demonic desert, the location of the three people from Tianshou clan was finally discovered. Don't worry, we will definitely repay this favor. Seeing several people from Konoha village fall to the ground, Muya used the summoning technique. A huge mole appeared and led the three of them directly into the ground. At this time, the three of them wanted to chase, but fell into the grass. The quicksand trap set by the hidden trio. Sister Yuno, thank you so much this time. If it weren't for you, the three of us would have died in nowhere. You are really a great benefactor to the three of us. I saw three people picking off dozens of poisonous thorns from a poisonous cactus. Just when Qixing was wondering what these three guys were going to do, the three of them started pricking each other. Damn, I'm so cruel. Looking away, Qixing's perception moved forward again. Seeing this scene, Qixing was stunned. Damn it, these three bastards are being hunted. They're clearly here, using clumsy techniques to pick up girls, okay? After all, I'm used to seeing battles beyond the 6 paths level. This kind of child's play is really boring. After the three people's bodies were covered with thorns, they staggered forward. When Qixing did something magical, the three of them had already walked to a blue tent not far ahead, their bodies shaking non-stop. Seeing this, Qixing shook his head. This scene directly shocked Qixing. Qixing knew that the venomous sting of the cactus could cause at least level 6 pain after being pierced into the body. What the hell are these three guys doing? At this time, Yuno had already sensed the gazes of these three people, and quickly used the medical water style to suck out the cactus toxins from the three people and ended the treatment. The three of them stood up feeling refreshed, gathered around Yuno, held her hand, and kept thanking her. Which B*********** D spread this false news? At this time, the three of them were knocked to the ground by the thick purple smoke, not to mention Akamaru, who had the most sensitive sense of smell. This thing was more than 10 times more powerful than Naruto's chink and fart. The three little guys looked directly at Yuno, who was bandaging them. Their eyes were so hot that they seemed to be eating people, which made people feel uncomfortable all over. At this time, in the tent, a sexy and hot woman was removing toxins from the three of them and bandaging their wounds. This person is none other than the medical ninja of Sand Ninja Village, Yuno. Depend on. Chapter 109 Magic Sand Giant Ant, and the stings of the cactus on the three guys were obviously inserted by themselves. It's so hypocritical to thank others for saving their lives. Damn it, it's just like the real thing. When did these guys learn the essence of this? But for a girl, do you fight so hard? Although the poison of the stinger is not fatal, the pain can reach level 6. I can't G bear it, you bastards, since they can endure it so well. When the Chunin exam is over and they return to Tianshumen, they will definitely undergo more cruel training. At this time, Qixing was so angry that he was too lazy to pay attention to these three little guys. After withdrawing his senses, he was about to turn around and leave the demonic desert. But just as Qixing was about to fly quickly, a vague energy appeared in a huge sand dune not far away. Gone in a flash. But who is Qixing? The appearance of this energy was instantly captured. The figure disappeared and came directly to the top of the sand dune. Perception surged out rapidly. In a moment, the situation below had already appeared in Qixing's mind. This place turned out to be a huge abandoned ruins, and it was occupied by the giant ant tribe a long time ago. There seemed to be a greater secret hidden under the ruins, and there was an extremely powerful aura at the bottom. It seems that the origin of this demonic desert is not random, it must have a deep meaning. Demonic desert? Then just let me reveal your secret. As he spoke, Qixing quickly descended and went deep into the ruins from a corner. Once inside the ruins, the view suddenly opens up. Although the inside is dilapidated, it gives people an extremely primitive feeling. As soon as the 7 stars appeared in the ruins, they were surrounded by several giant ants. I am afraid that any stranger who appears here will be attacked by the giant ants, and even ordinary giant ants have the fighting power of Chunin, but just imagine the strength of those fighting ants. Of course, Qixing just used a dragonfire to destroy these little things in front of him. But what worries Qixing the most is whether the overflowing energy is related to the ancient atmosphere here. System, what are the different energies I sensed twice? Ding. What I sensed for the first time is a sign of the awakening of a special blood energy that has escaped. Close black lens bracket. What I sensed for the second time was the vague Taoist charm that filled the ruins everywhere. It should be a special aura left behind by a strong man beyond the immortal level who had practiced cultivation here. Close black lens bracket. Hey, beyond the immortal level, what kind of existence is that? Ding. This time, the intelligence above the immortal level exceeds 100 points. Please ask the host if you want to continue. Close black lens bracket. Yes. Ding. Those above the immortal level are Shinto. Shinto, as the name suggests, has completely understood its own Dao charm. Every word and action can be turned into a means of attack. It is no longer limited to forming seals to condense chakra. Just a thought can release the technique one has learned. And it's even more powerful. Close black lens bracket. Oh, so how many such strong men are there in the ninja world? Open black lens bracket. Ding. It seems that no one in the ninja world has successfully broken through this realm, and the people closest to this realm are your neighbors. This is one of the reasons why he wants to integrate into the way of heaven. Close black lens bracket. I see. What about the Shinto way? Ding. Host is not powerful enough to detect. Please host improve your basic strength to the peak of 6 paths before you can spend points to explore. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Oh, there is also this restriction. Forget it, it won't help even if you know this now. Let's go and see where that weird energy comes from. System. Turn on the guidance mode. Ding. The guide mode is on, 1000 points will be deducted. Close black lens bracket. Qixing didn't say anything, but as soon as the system's guide appeared, he sank straight into the depths of the ground. When he saw this, Qixing's eyes were fixed, and his hands quickly formed seals. Earth style. Earth style. I saw Qixing's figure slowly sinking into the ground. As the depth became deeper and deeper, the air became thinner and the rocks in the soil became harder, so Qixing had to increase the consumption of atmosphere. Just when Qixing began to feel agitated in this darkness, the road guide of the system in front suddenly stopped. This scene made Qixing extremely excited. FK it finally stopped. As he spoke, he rushed towards Luyan. In just one breath, Qixing crossed Luyan and appeared directly in a wide secret passage. Although it was dim in the dark passage, Qixing's eyes could actually see. As the road leads further forward, the dark passage becomes brighter and brighter. When walking around a corner, a bright and huge square appeared in Qixing's field of vision. At a glance, Qixing saw that the square was 500 meters square, with 4 huge torches in 4 directions. The flames shot straight into the sky, illuminating the entire square. In the center of the square, countless giant ants surrounded a stone platform. On the stone platform, a huge cocoon of blood-colored light was trembling. At this time, when the ants saw this, they began to scream one after another, as if they were worshipping, but also as if they were afraid. Around the blood cocoon, there are 9 ninjas from other ninja villages tied up. Looking at the forehead protectors, most of them are from Sound Ninja Village and Mist Ninja Village. The key is that all the blood in those people's bodies has been drained. At this time, more giant ants saw the blood cocoons expanding and began to puncture their bodies. Some transparent blood flowed along the feet of the giant ants and into the grooves beside them. As soon as the blood entered the grooves, rapidly flowing towards the bloody cocoon of light in the middle, the light cocoon expands faster and faster. Until a certain moment, when the blood cocoon cracked, Qixing also smelled a strange fishy smell. System. What is in that light cocoon? Ding. This is the ancient summoning beast in the ninja world, the egg of the giant magic sand ant, which contains the energy of the queen and most of the worker ants. Is the system guy evolving? Ding. This ant has just awakened the bloodline of the demonic light ant, and is trying to break through the shackles, from the peak of 6 paths, to the immortal level, and the energy you just sensed is the energy that escapes after this guy's bloodline is opened. Close black lens bracket. And this guy made the right choice. The environment here is well isolated from the detection of heavenly Tao. If it were in the outside world, I am afraid that it would have been marked by the heavenly law. The real heavenly law would not allow forces beyond one's control to appear. Close black lens bracket. Then, what are the chances of this guy breaking through? Ding. That guy has successfully broken through this realm, but the power of the bloodline has not been fully absorbed at this time. Close black lens bracket. If I want to conquer this guy in the system, without the Master Ball, I can have a few % confidence. Ding. Host, don't dream. In that case, you won't even have a 10% certainty. Close black lens bracket. Nah, brother Tong, can you give me some confidence? However, the system has no such delusional plans as Bird Qixing. Forget it, if it doesn't surrender, just beat it until it does. Chapter 110 Ant King, Meruem. With this plan, Qixing took a step forward, green hair rose into the sky, and a violent energy whirlwind circled around Qixing. At this time, Qixing exposed himself behind the ants, and looked at the space again. I thought that many ants would attack me, but something was obviously wrong. None of these giant ants looked in the direction of Qixing. Still motionless. Qixing felt a little weird when he saw this, and immediately opened the Rinnegan. The next moment, countless giant ant souls were floating in the empty hall. An even larger red ant soul seemed to have been dead for a long time, but still stayed in this space. It's a pity that I didn't see the body of this super giant ant. It was obvious that all of these giant ants were dead, but the souls of these giant ants did not ascend to heaven. They all wanted to float towards a gate behind the Ant King. The door is simple and simple. Lulin and Desert are depicted on both sides of the door. There is a ferocious beast swimming at the top of the door, which seems to have the face of a human and the body of a snake. The strangest thing is that the door is in the rock, and the Rinnegan can only be seen clearly if the 7 stars are turned on. Half of the giant ant souls that rushed towards the door were eaten by the monster with a human face and a snake body, while the rest poured in from the gaps in the door. Qixing roughly counted and found that there were at least 200 ants left in this space. A giant ant with elite Jonin strength, 3 cage-level giant ants, and 1 super cage level. Their souls are still wandering around. These giant ants all sacrificed their blood in this sacrifice, just to complete the bloody light cocoon. At this moment, the moment Qixing stepped forward, the light cocoon had completely fallen off. I saw a red-green humanoid creature standing among them. This creature had a head like a round cap and a slightly round face. It was cute in its prime, but its 2 waist-length tentacles told Qixing that this guy couldn't be a human. This creature seemed to be covered with a layer of carapace. It looked extremely hard. The muscles under the carapace were tight, resembling a mechanical ant-man. At this moment, the creature's wet eyes opened, and its 2 blood-red eyes looked in the direction of the 7 stars. They looked at each other with a Rinnegan and a Mangekyo Sharingan from the 7 stars, but they were not affected at all. The atmosphere was a little subtle at this second, as the mysterious creature spoke first. "Are you human?" He was able to find the depths of the Devil's Cave, so his strength was pretty good. It just so happened that I had just been born and was a little hungry, so I treated you as my dinner. As he spoke, Qixing disappeared directly from the place without waiting for Qixing to refute. Qixing had already been prepared. The moment the mysterious creature disappeared, Qixing directly entered the Kamui space. However, the mysterious creature stood in front of Qixing in an instant, frowning slightly, bending its 2 tentacles forward, and then stretched out its big hand, and actually extended it into Qixing's Kamui space. What? How is it possible that this guy also has Grandmaster space technique? After the shock, Qixing withdrew from the Kamui space and appeared several hundred meters behind the mysterious creature. System. Quickly check this guy's information. Open black lens bracket ding. Target. Ant King, Meru M, Realm, early stage of immortal level. Combat strength. Unknown. Talent. Devour. Can devour creatures and obtain all the abilities and knowledge of the creatures during their lifetime. Advertisement bloodline. Magic light ant. Skills. The system has just devoured the Ant Queen and the ninjas of several major ninja villages. The system determines that the ninjutsu and physical skills of several major ninja villages are Grandmaster. What is even more terrifying is that they may also be Grandmaster of the Queen Ant's strength. Close black lens bracket. System. Can we detect this guy's other abilities? Ding. Host, aren't you talking nonsense? That guy was born less than a minute ago, and the system could not find any traces of its battle in the time and space of the ninja world, indicating that it had never used any of its abilities in the ninja world. Close black lens bracket. Damn it. I have to do it myself. As soon as he said this, the Ant King had already attacked. I saw the Ant King's big hand, which was sealed at some point, and a burst of lightning appeared. The lightning continued to stretch in the big hand, and the next moment it passed directly through Qixing's body. But the Ant King did not let down his guard at this time, because Qixing's body turned into a burst of white smoke and disappeared after 2 seconds. Qixing originally wanted to launch a sneak attack from behind. But the next moment, the Ant King's whole body was on fire, and the fire instantly flooded the space. As the Ant King stamped his big feet on the ground, the violent thrust lifted Qixing's body and hit the end of the wall. Qixing no longer hesitated and started Super Saiyan 3 directly. At this time, his whole body was instantly surrounded by ink-colored lightning. Phew, as he spoke, a mouthful of blood spat out from his mouth. Just the impact just now shocked the 7 stars' inner palace. Fortunately, the Saiyans' physiques were strong enough. Ordinary people would have died long ago. But that's it, giving Qixing a chance to breathe. At this time, Qixing forcibly restrained the spirit and wanted to control the blood-red giant ant. However, the blood-red giant ant could not escape its fate after struggling for 3 seconds. Arrange. This time Qixing faced a real immortal. Those in the past were all pseudo-immortals, or they used other people's bodies to exert their immortal strength, but this was different. This is a genuine immortal-level powerhouse. Although he has just made a breakthrough, his aura is so powerful that it is impossible to look directly at him. At this time Qixing kept muttering, damn it, this Ant King doesn't have any seals at all, he can directly use all the ninjutsu he just absorbed, damn. Did he understand the secret of the fairy level so quickly? I originally wanted to make a time lag, but it seems that I wanted too much. Hundreds of blue ant souls were seen, showing their figures and rushing directly towards the Ant King. And the various terrifying squeezing forces around him seemed to be helping the Ant King, making it impossible for Qixing to retreat. When the Ant King in the distance saw Qixing in this state, his 2 tentacles moved slightly. Suddenly 2 giant dragons appeared, bursting the small space. Originally there was only 500 square meters of space, but it suddenly became dusty. In the blink of an eye, it directly became 2,000 square meters. Damn, you're so cruel. Seeing that the spirit was successfully restrained, Qixing drove the giant ants to attack the Ant King, and then formed a seal with both hands. Fire style, Skyfire Crazy Dragon. And this blow also blasted open the giant door behind the Ant King, revealing a rotating golden Uzumaki. Hey, a powerful energy body is exactly what I need. The Ant King was stunned for a second when he saw this, and then opened his big mouth and swallowed up hundreds of ant souls. After saying that, the Ant King opened his big hand, and a terrifying suction force directly pulled Qixing back. Qixing bit his silver teeth and activated the Soul Jeweling General. In an instant, the souls of the ants that were constantly floating were captured by Qixing. Only the giant red ant was still struggling.